Michigan robotics season starts to take off as we start with our first weekend of district events. Today, on the west side of the state, we are here in St. Joseph, Michigan, as we welcome you to the Michigan First Robotics Competition. Welcome inside the high school, Dan Gutowski along with Dan Kimura. We'll also have Kaylee Marentet as part of our broadcast in just a moment. Dan, we've got 31 schools here. This is their first chance to really kind of see what their machines can do. This year's game is called Rapid React. Yep. Let's get the game rules in place and see how this is all played out.
Yeah, so every year it's a brand new game. Teams find out early January what they have to design and build their robot to do. This year it involves essentially picking up tennis balls, giant oversized tennis balls, and shooting them into our goal in the middle of the field that we call a hub.
So let's take a look at what these Red Alliance and Blue Alliances will be doing on the floor today.
Yep, so this is Rapid React, sponsored by Boeing. It is an airline-themed game. That giant structure you see in the middle, that is our goal, or our hub. There's actually a high goal there that you can shoot into and a low goal. There are also some hanging bars on the sides of the field. Now, a match is 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. The first 15 seconds are autonomous. What that means is all of the robot movements are pre-programmed. The drivers are not touching the controls. You can score points in 3 ways during autonomous points. Leaving that taped zone is called taxiing. That's worth 2 points. And scoring in the high goal and low goal are worth double points right now. So 4 for the high, 2 for the low. After the first 15 seconds, the drivers are able to step forward and take control of the robots. We call this the tele-operated period. So now they have 2 minutes and 15 seconds to just run up that score. Score as many of those tennis balls as they can. So you'll see some will go low for 1 point, some will go high for 2 points. When you shoot high, you gotta be a little careful because the ball can bounce out. And then, moving on towards the end game, the last 30 seconds of the match, robots are going to head over to the hanging bars. And there are 4 hanging bars. The higher you get, the more points it's worth. They're going to start on the low rung for 4 points. If they can get to the mid, that's 6. The high rung is 10. And then the very highest bar is called the traversal rung. That's worth 15 points. Now, there's some rules that prevent you from reaching all the way up to the highest bar in one go. That's why you see robots doing that monkey bar swing to get all the way up to the highest bar.
So basically it comes down to shooting the balls into the hub and then have the robots go to climbing those rungs.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Kaylee Marentet, also part of our broadcast. She's on the floor, in the pits. She's everywhere. Kaylee, what do you got for us today?
Hey guys, excited to be here. The energy is definitely building in here, as you can hear and probably see. People are dancing and having fun, just getting ready for the day. Coming up later in the show, we actually have some stories for you. We talked to a student who actually is from Ukraine and says her family is still over there. We spoke to her a little bit about how her team is supporting her. They actually changed their colors to their Ukrainian flag colors. And we're going to tell you about a student who changed his life around thanks to robotics. Again, that's coming up later in the show. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. Yeah, lots of human interest stories here, Dan. The robotics and the mechanics is all interesting, but it's the people behind the scenes that make things happen. And also, let's take a look at our brackets. We said we've got 31 schools here, most of them from the west side of the state. What do you think of this?
Yeah, so it's narrowed down. Now we have 24 of those teams still competing in our knockout bracket. It's going to be best 2 out of 3. Winner moves on. And you can see we have 1 through 8 seeds. So the number 1 seed did the best all day Friday and this morning, ranked the highest during our qualifying rounds. They get their first choice of partners all the way down to number 8 and then back up to number 1. So number 1 seed, that is your favorite. That's who you got to watch out for. But, you know, we have some other strong alliances. 3 and 4 both look particularly strong. And our number 2 alliance is actually captained by a low goal scorer. Most of the rest of them are high goal scorers, so it'll be interesting to see how their strategy converts into these elimination rounds.
All these teams have spent so many hours trying to make these machines perfect. They'll get a chance to test it today. We'll come back with our first match in a moment. It's the first in Michigan District St. Joseph event when we come back.
DTE believes leaders are defined by doing what's right, not what's easy. So we are tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years and using cleaner natural gas. Working even harder to create a future where producing affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. DTE.
How do you change the way the world moves? Change course. Aptiv is engineering the brain and the nervous system to bring the future of mobility to life with advanced computing platforms and smart vehicle architecture, taking you from point A to point B and every point in between. We are Aptiv, and we're moving mobility forward.
I got into energy because I really love playing around with cutting-edge technology.
I got into energy because ever since I was a kid, I've been a social butterfly.
I got into energy because I didn't want to spend all day in an office.
I got into energy because I have always been a problem solver.
I got into energy because I wanted to work in a skilled trade.
I got into energy because I know that it's stable local work.
There are lots of reasons to get into energy, and chances are we have a career that's right for you. Get inspired at consumersenergy.com/careers.
Welcome back to St. Joseph High School. Here as we get things rolling here, Rapid React is our game for this year's Michigan High School Robotics competition. Everything building towards kind of late April when we move to Saginaw Valley State. Dan, let's talk a little bit for a moment about what these teams are trying to do in this, first weekend. Just the chance to see what these robots can do in game competition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So first weekend for most of the teams here. We did have 1 week of competitions last week. So a few teams have had some experience, but I think everybody here, it's in their first week. And really, we're seeing teams that are going to be going out. They've been shaking down the robots, trying to find the bugs, tune them in. We had some robots that were performing well early, ran into some issues, and have been trying to fix those as well. So, you're not trying to do too much at your first event. You want to make sure the robot's working, make sure you can make the shots that you're trying to make, and then start to build from there as the season goes on.
You don't want to peak too early, and there's still a lot of work to be done for all of these teams. When we looked at that bracket, I don't think we touched on specific teams or machines that might really be working well right now, but based on tradition and legacy, who do we think is going to be the impact robots today?
Yeah, we got to watch that captain of the #1 seeded alliance, 2767. That's Strikeforce. Strikeforce has 2 world championships under their belt, right? So they've been the best of the best, and they've been recent. I believe it was 2017 and 2018. So you got to watch out for them, and they're paired with 4003. That's the Trisonics, another really, really strong robot. Made a deep run at some of the world championships as well. I like Alliance 4, 3620, Average Joe's. That's our host team here at St. Joe. They've been strong. They had a little bit of issues maybe this morning, but I look for them to come back strong in these elimination rounds as well.
Well, a lot of excitement always, the work that they do behind the scenes is kind of the laying the foundation. That's when, I have to expect that's kind of the least fun part of the year when you're putting the machine together. Now you finally get a chance, been working all these weeks to finally get it rolling and see how things go.
Yeah, and that's what we find both with teams and with students. When I ran a team, we would have to get the students to that first event. And once they saw that first event, they were hooked.
All right, so we're off and running here. Red Alliance in the autonomous period. Blue Alliance a little bit slower coming out.
That 4003 robot, the Trisonics, we just called them out. They shot 2 balls, faded back, grabbed another one. So robots start with only 1 ball in their possession at the beginning of the match. They have to pick up extra ones during autonomous mode. And remember, that's pre-programmed. That's hard to do.
Again, autonomous is just 15 seconds, but you saw the Red Alliance really take a stronghold here with the early scoring in the autonomous.
Yeah, 22-6 right now for the Red Alliance. So Blue's going to have to find a lot of baskets very fast.
Now the objective, grab that cargo, throw it up in that hub. Those balls are big, kind of bouncy. That's problematic, right?
Yeah, it actually, the lower you can shoot and get it to go in, the better. We just saw Strikeforce there, drop a few. They're only cresting, what, maybe a foot and a half over the top of that goal. The closer you keep that, the less energy there is, the less likely it is to bounce out, as we see one literally roll off the rim and in.
So those balls going into the hub at the top, if they come out, that's not a point. They just got to go all the way down, right?
No, when they come out, if they bounce out the top, no point. If they roll down, we have 4 ramps around it. If they roll down those ramps, they're counted as points.
Okay. So still a comfortable lead for Red Alliance here with teams from Berrien Springs, Allendale, and Kalamazoo. Again, we're heavy with teams on the west side of the state of Michigan, but everyone's kind of building towards the event in mid-April at Saginaw Valley State. Under a minute left to go here. Still a great lead for the Red Alliance.
Yeah, and we can see over here, it's 65-88 for the Blue Alliance, is going early to hang. Normally, you don't hang till the last 30 seconds, but you're allowed to start early, and they know they need those points to come back. So we'll see. It looks like they've got a double hook. They're going to be going for that traversal bar, which would be 15 points if they can get all the way up there. And on red, we have 2 robots lining up to hang. That's Strikeforce and the Green Engineers, 34-52.
So the low rung, the mid rung, the high rung, and the traversal rung, that's the one you really want that's going to get you 15 points. Blue Alliance just really has not been able to make a big impact here.
No, and so, you know, they are going up. 65-88 is going up. They're on the high bar right now, but Strikeforce is already on the traversal rung for 15. And we have another red robot going up. Now they're on both of those bars over there, 34-52. Because they're touching 2 bars, they're only going to get credit for the lowest one they're touching. So that's a 10-point hang from them, not a 15. But in the end game, I mean, it's, what do we have? We have 10, 15, and a 6. So that's going to be 31 points over there and only 10 points on the other side of the field.
So the rule of the road is 1 robot per bar.
You can have multiple robots per bar, but that robot can only touch that 1 bar to get credit for that height.
Got it. Well, so a good start for the Red Alliance and those 3 machines.
Yeah, and it was, again, number 1 seed versus number 1 8 seed. These tend to not be very competitive matches, although there have been upsets.
Yeah, Dan, let's explain, too, how does the seeding process work?
So all these teams have been here since, like, really Thursday evening. It's Saturday afternoon for us now. And they played 12 matches with random partners and random opponents. And each match you play, basically, you get 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, 0 points for a loss. There are a couple other ways you could earn points by scoring enough things or hanging high enough on the bar. But then the teams are ranked 1 to 31 in our case. The number 1 team then gets to pick its partner. We have a draft from 1 all the way down to 8, and then 8 all the way back up to number 1. And those are our final alliances that we see here competing in our elimination tournament.
So Red Alliance, you can see pretty much all the way down the line, the big points were in cargo and hangar for them.
Yep. Yeah, and you can see taxiing. We should see 6 taxi points for every alliance from here on out. If we don't see 6, something went wrong, and a robot didn't move in autonomous mode. So the difference is going to be in cargo, hangar, and penalty, but a clean match this time, no penalty points. But just, you know, like 50 to 12 cargo points, 31 to 10 hangar points. Those are both very big victories for the Red Alliance. So Blue's going to have to really try something different, something almost crazy to have a chance to come back in their next match.
And I would think too, Dan, early in the, in the season, if you will, now the competition's underway, we get later, we talk about some defensive strategies, things like that. That's not on the table for today, right? They're really mostly working to see how good are our machines working and how efficient are we?
Yeah, I think the defensive strategies tend to develop later than the offensive strategies. Teams are coming out, it's their first time running these robots. They want to, make sure it does the things they've designed it to do. Score points, shoot balls in. But we did see in that last match, 65-88, trying to play some defense on Strikeforce, and doing a decent job at it. Obviously not good enough. We might see harder defense as we get later into this elimination bracket. Another thing about that match, too, is the Blue Alliance did have a robot 78-14 was disabled mid-match. It turns out if your bumper falls off, those bumpers are on there partially for safety, partially to keep the robots from destroying each other. If it falls off, you'll actually get turned off for the remainder of the match, and that happened to them. So that's another thing they can do to come back.
All right, let's swing down to the pits and join Kaylee Marentet.
Hey guys, I'm here with Tori from Strikeforce. Tori, tell me what was so essential to that win.
I think just planning it out with our teammates beforehand, we really communicated and talked and worked well together. So we knew where everybody was going to be at every point in that game, and I think that just communication was really important.
So you've been high in the rankings, all day. What is going to take you all the way to the end, keeping in that high seat?
Again, I think just communication is going to be really important, and we got to keep our cool. Sometimes we get too stressed and go too fast and we miss things, but just like keeping our cool and communicating with our teammates is going to keep us in the high ranking.
How are you feeling after that?
I'm feeling really good. I'm happy. A little bit tired.
Tired? What from?
Just standing all day and yesterday, but I was really happy with how that game went, though, that match.
All right, congratulations. Thank you, Tori. We're going to send it back to you guys for now.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. Yes, the human element, the emotions, the adrenaline, that becomes very prevalent here as we look at the scores, official scores. Lawton and River Valley, Middle High School, and Granville. Well, they're an 8th seed, so they know that there's work to be done. But the three on the top, on the right side, the left side, Kalamazoo, Allendale, and Berrien Springs. That's a good start for them.
Yeah, absolutely. 87 points is a solid score. Really good scores, I would say, are over 100 points right now. So there is still room for them to get better. But they're not going to be disappointed with an 87 for their first time out.
So we're coming up on our next match. Our second quarterfinal of 8. And this will pit the 4th and 5th seed together. So this is going to be more evenly matched. What's our scouting report here?
It will be. There's a few good teams here. Again, 3620, right, is a great shooting robot. They had some trouble. They had an issue actually in one of their early matches today. But look for them to score a lot of points. 3688 as well. 2959 is one of the best defensive robots, I think, at the event. And to get them as your second pick is a great steal there.
And away we go. 15 seconds of autonomous. A lot of red balls flying there. Blue a little bit slow that time. Now a little catch up there by the blue, but look at that.
Going to load first. Their shots came in a little bit late. You have 5 seconds after autonomous for those balls to clear through and get counted.
Yeah. So now things really start to pick up a little bit here.
Big advantage for Red, 32-16. And they are the first ones back shooting. And watch that 2959 robot. That's the Robotarians. They are sitting on 74 and making life really, really hard for them.
So I mentioned no defense. Well, somebody didn't get that message.
Right away, yeah.
Right.
And you'll see 74 is utilizing, there's one protected place on the field. They're fading back. There are these blue panels and red panels on the truss structure where the hanging bars are. If you're touching those panels, you see 74 is over near them now. If you're touching those panels, you can't get hit. So right now they're in contact with it, moved a little bit to take their shot, and they're going to be forced to do that more and more as 2959 plays defense.
Back-to-back makes by the Average Joe's machine from St. Joseph. So they're starting to make some noise here, and proficient shooting. There's a 1-2 combo hit.
Yeah. And watch that robot. When they parked just before they started shooting, you can see the robot kind of twitching back and forth. That's actually, they have a camera on the robot that is taking over control of that robot to get the fine aiming in, because that can actually be faster than the drivers when done well.
Yeah, we know there's some limitations and restrictions on what can actually be done to the robot, but I'm assuming like GoPro, things like that don't really fly, do they?
You can actually stream some video back over a webcam, which helps as well. We see 3620 Average Joe's going to hang early, and this is one thing we have to watch them. They went to hang with almost 45 seconds left in the match, and I think that's because they need to make room for their partners. They have to get out of the way for their partners to hang afterwards, but that means they're not shooting.
Blue Alliance and the 904 machine, D-Cube from Grand Rapids, they're firing away. We've got a pretty low scoring event here, but looks like the Red Alliance is going to...
Yep. Joes are up for 15. 226, that's the Hammerheads. They are now up for 15. We've got 74 up for, they are on the 6-point bar. 2959 matches them at 6. So our hangs, I think, are going to even out. I think we're going to get 21 hanging points for both alliances. And if that's the case, then the advantage in cargo scoring that the Red Alliance had going into endgame should stand up.
So we'll take a little break here and wait for the scores to tally up. And a little bit of a challenge here. Boy, that the adrenaline kick, we talked about it earlier. It's a little stronger now. It'll level out as the afternoon goes on, but let's take a replay here and see what transpired.
Yeah, that was the autonomous. That initial salvo from Red, they just put in so many balls right off the bat. Blue answered back a little bit later, but you can see even another late shot from Red as they went to reload in autonomous mode. A good shot here of 226 climbing up, getting that traversal rung. You can see they're only touching that very highest rung. That's going to be 15 points all day long. And 226, very good at doing that.
Let's head back down to the pits and reconnect with Kaylee Marentet.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm here with Jared from the Average Joes. Jared, tell me, you guys were super hot in the first 15 seconds. How vital was that for this win?
Absolutely. We know that now and in further matches, we're going to need a really good autonomous. And as you saw, we were just pummeling Red Cargo into the hub. We did really well throughout the match, and our climb was flawless. So we're feeling really good.
You guys were climbing really early. Is that what you expected, or was that just kind of a bonus?
Most of the time we head there just to make sure that if anything goes wrong, we have time to adjust for it. But with this one, we ended up doing really well and had some extra time to do a little pull-up at the end.
Gotcha. Okay, and I heard you guys are big on cheering. Tell me how enthusiastic you guys were after that.
Totally. We just love to see our robot work. We've been working on it for months now, and our whole team and alumni and parents are all out here to see it. We love to see everything work with all teams, and we're really loving the competition.
All right, thanks so much, Jared. Congratulations. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Kaylee, thank you as we continue with our second match in the books, waiting for the official scoring, but we think that's going to be a Red Alliance win. And so far it's been a Red Alliance winning the first two matches, and that follows suit this time around as well. Closer score.
Yep.
But still a Red Alliance win.
It is within reach. It's like we said, hanger points canceling out, 21 and 21. That cargo advantage held up, and most of that cargo advantage was in autonomous mode. So we need to watch very carefully the next time these two alliances play. If Blue can come back and add a little bit to their autonomous scoring, they have a chance to hang in that match.
And away we go with our third quarterfinal. The Red Alliance is the Bionic Bison, the Robo Rangers, and the Tech Tigers. That's a name we know well. Blue Alliance is Twin River Robotics, Turbulence. The two of those three machines that will be out there strutting their stuff, and Robodogs.
Yep. Robodogs 3D. There's actually 3 different teams at that same school, so we're going to see a lot of Robodogs this afternoon. I think all 3 of them are playing. So I have to do our best to keep them all straight.
Heavy on the Robodogs. That's fair. Let's flush that out. That's very uncommon to have that many at one school, right?
It is, yeah. It's rare to have 2 at one school. So 3 at one school they might be the only school that does that.
That is an all-in commitment to robotics there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not an expert on their story, but what I believe I've heard is that, they just needed more robots to get more students involved, get more hands on the robots. So they just kept adding teams.
So here's our number 2 alliance. You just saw where they're from, school-wise.
Yes.
And we will get it cranked up with the Red Alliance from Portland High School, Saugatuck Middle High School, and Granville. And then for the Blue Alliance, it's New Buffalo High School, Ross Beatty Junior High School, and Benton Harbor.
Yep, and this number 2 alliance is one of the most interesting alliances that we have, in these playoffs. The captain on this alliance has been playing a low goal game. So as you've seen in the first 2 matches, right, majority of the ball's going high for those 2 points versus 1. But if you can keep the volume up, you might be able to keep up scoring in that low goal. So we're going to have to watch. That's 55-35 and 43-25 and 19-40 if they use that low goal and if they can keep up in cargo points.
Yeah, again, things stay pretty low-key for the first 15 seconds of autonomy, and Red Alliance shooting low. Now a couple of high shots, headed for that hub. And we will wind down autonomous period with Not a big point production by either group.
Right,
but
they're hanging in, and that's the value of the low goal over the high goal, is if you're going to bounce out, if you're going to miss shots, the low goal keeps you close. And 55-35, just that quickly, they dumped 2 more in the low goal.
So low scoring so far early here in this third quarterfinal match. Couple of Red Alliance. Cargo going into the low hub. And a couple more. So Blue Alliance struggling to.
And keep an eye on 244. They're trying to get past 1940 here to shoot in the high goal. But every time they line up, they're getting hit and having to re-aim. And they haven't gotten a shot off in quite some time.
Turbulence from Saugatuck. Finding the hub for the Blue Alliance. But boy, there is not the point explosion that we've had in the as we've had in the first couple of matches.
No, and I want to say good defense so far by 1940, but 244 now with no balls left in their robot, so I wonder if they're also having mechanical issues.
Seems like both of these teams are a little more comfortable shooting into that low hub on the tarmac.
Yeah, and we knew that about the number 2 alliance. We knew they were going to come out, they were going to play the low goal in defense and hope for the best. I think the problem with our Blue Alliance is their high goal shooter, either something is mechanically wrong or they've decided that they couldn't get through the defense and they've stopped trying to shoot. My guess is something probably broke on that robot.
A couple more makes for the Red Alliance again.
And we have a real lead now. This is a 10-point lead, 27-17. They can still be made up in the hanging at the end, but it's the Red Alliance who's over there first.
Red Alliance watches Blue Alliance get a few more now, maybe one more ball in the cargo, but it's a miss by the Red Alliance. Now they're going to have to hang.
43-25, already on the high bar. We're going to have to watch and see if they go for that traversal bar.
We can see the Blue Alliance a little more aggressive, trying to get in place. Hanging right now.
But they're stopping there. That's as high as they're going to go. So you got 2 mids and a low. That's 16 points. The one traversal hang that 43-25 just successfully completed is 15 alone. Got another 12 from the other 2 hangers. So Red Alliance up in cargo, and I think they've got the hang victory too. So they should have a comfortable win here.
So Red Alliance has been the dominant alliance so far, and you can see that fan section all revved up and ready to go.
And of course, the Red Alliance is the higher seeded alliance. The higher seeded alliance always puts on the red bumpers. So some good long shots there from Blue. We can see this was just when drivers were taking control. 244 had that ball early, right? But we never saw them shoot that ball. They spit it out here. 1940 was just all over them early in that match, and I think they just couldn't get that ball all the way to their catapult to try to launch it into the high goal. And if they can get that fixed, again, they have a chance to come back.
So we're not overwhelmed by that score, but you got to start somewhere, right? What's your takeaway here?
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid win for the number 2 alliance, 56-36. And they went with that low goal strategy. And that might be, they might be able to push it a little bit higher, but that might be about their cap for their score. They're going to look to bring other alliances down to their level. They're going to try to win a defensive slugfest.
So there's our final scores between Alliance 2 and 7. Red Alliance comes out ahead by 20. Power cell and control panel were the deciding factors there. Back to the pits we go as we rejoin Kaylee, sorry.
Hey guys, I'm here with Autumn from the Red Alliance. Tell me how you're feeling after that win.
I am super excited. It's my first time being behind the actual driving, so it's very exciting, and I have a lot of adrenaline because it's a lot going on, so it's really exciting.
Your first time driving, what do you think of it?
I love it. It's definitely a good experience. I love the experience behind it, just doing anything I can to make the team better. It's just what I go for.
Obviously, lots of good news for the Red Alliance. How do you guys think you're going to keep that momentum going?
We're just going to keep sticking together and keeping plans set. Team planning, just trying to stay on top of everything, and you're fine. And just try our best and don't give up.
All right, thanks and congratulations. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Kaylee. Got to watch those machines down there. They're everywhere. With some tight spaces here at St. Joseph High School. So, yeah, that's a good, now coming up here in our fourth quarterfinal. Alliance 3 against Alliance 6. East Grand Rapids, Bishop Foley Catholic, and Granville is the number 6 Alliance. The number 3 Alliance, you can see there, we like the third alliances so far. What about this blue alliance here, 6 seeded, so they got a little something to prove.
They do. 910, Bishop Foley, is a very good shooting robot. They've had some issues. They kind of went under the radar, so they slipped all the way down to this number 6 alliance. But they definitely have some firepower here. 288 can score high as well. But, you know, 2054 is one of the top robots at this event. Maybe the third or fourth best shooting robot so far that we've seen. So it's still going to be an uphill battle here.
And there we go with Hopkins and Lakeshore and Buchanan as the teams are competing here. So that sets the stage for us. Yeah, it's always nice to see the Robodogs and the Tech Vikes.
And I believe 288 is the original Robodogs team. That was the first one that started, oh man, I don't know if it was 1999 or 2000, sometime back then. So they've been around for a while. The other two started a little bit more recently. You can see a small delay here. Looks like it is 2054 that's having the problem. So we have some FTAs. They're going to be wearing these navy blue polos with the giant FTA on the back. They are responsible for getting all the robots connected to the field, making sure the field electronics work. And we can see 2 of them right now with 2054 at their controls in their driver station, trying to figure out maybe why the robot isn't connecting. Looks like progress is being made, though, as the driver is now stepping up. And, you know, usually when the driver steps up, they're just testing to make sure everything is plugged in correctly and all their stuff is good, and the field is probably ready to go.
And the Tech Vikes, I guess the helmets give it away.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if there was a merchandise tent that sold all of what the costumes were, they could clean up.
They could, yes.
And away we go as we roll into the autonomous period.
Yep, watch that Tech Vikes robot. It loaded a second red ball, but short on their second shot here.
Everybody going for that upper hub in this autonomous period.
Yep, some late shots for red. I think that's going to give red the advantage here. And once all the balls clear through, it is red 30 to 22, but only 8 points. That is still a very close match.
Now we'll see. We got a lot more points here rolling into this quarterfinal match.
Yep, couple of bounce outs, one for each side, is keeping it close.
You know, and having the hubs right in the middle kind of changes your strategy defensively a little bit, doesn't it? Because usually we don't have something big right in the middle.
Yeah, this year's game, I mean, you gotta use those narrow alleys on the side, and you'll actually see teams are gonna prefer to play on their side of the field where the drivers can see the robot and see the balls to pick them up easier. But blue has now come back. They've overcome that autonomous deficit, and they have a small lead, 38 to, well, now it's tied, 38 to 38.
Yeah, and a nice make there with the Foley Freeze from Bishop Foley Catholic High School. They're one from the east side of the state, so they made the long drive over here.
Yep, they are. And like I said, a very good shooting robot. 1 for 2 on that set, but 288 follows them up with a shot that bounces out.
So still a lot of time left. No one's going to start hanging quite yet.
Yeah, and these 2 alliances right now are on pace to be up there with our number 1 alliance's score. Remember, they put up 87 in their first match, and they're both in striking the distance of that right now.
Still time for these robots to try to fire that cargo into the hub, and again, we see them going mostly upper hub, not lower hub.
Yeah, big traffic jam here on the near side of the field. 5980 is trying to play defense, trying to shut down that Tech Vikes robot. Got a little bit in the way of their own partner for a bit, but 910 short on that shot, not going to count.
No one going to hang just yet. Yeah, we got a couple of red robots ready to move into position.
So the question is blue going for low hangs late and trying to maximize their scoring, or are they just running behind schedule here?
Kind of dangerous strategy. Now they're moving into position with only 7 seconds left.
Yep, Tech Vikes on that 15-point run.
Oh, that might be a big difference maker there.
2 6s. Who's up and who's not? I can't tell. So red is obvious. We got 15 points for the Tech Bikes and 2 6s for their partners. So we're seeing 27 points from the Red Alliance. Blue had 2 up on the 6-point bar, 1 on the 4-point bar, but you have to stay up for 5 seconds after the match ends, and those robots are sagging down on the blue side, and I don't think they're going to get all those points.
Dangerous strategy. We'll see if it pays off as we take a look back and see. It is a challenge to, those balls staying in the hub is a little bit more complicated than we thought.
Yeah, and so we've been talking about, they want to keep that shot as low over the top of the hub as possible. And, just some of them taking too high of an arc and bouncing out. You can see some good defense here being played, 59-80, spinning 20-54 around. A lot of times it's not a big impact that makes you miss, but a little bit of a spin and your shot's going off on a weird angle.
So the hanger points are going to loom large for the Red Alliance. And there it is, the Red Alliance with the 27-0 lead or advantage in control panel. Well, there it is.
Yeah, just like we were saying, those blue robots, they were all on the bar. They were all trying to climb, but at the end of that match, they all came down. They were touching the ground before 5 seconds. So match ends, you have to hold for 5 seconds, and that's when you get the credited the points. They didn't do it, and that was just a blowout in hang points, and you can't keep up with that.
Blue Alliance with 8 points in the end game. Not enough to make a difference. Red Alliance wins. That's a common theme here. Back we go down in the pits as we reconnect with Kaylee. We'll go back to Kaylee in just a bit.
Yeah, so we are through one full set of our quarterfinal matches. We've seen everybody play once. Our high score so far is that 87 from the number 1 Alliance. But number 4 and number 3 both were over 70. So they're in that same ballpark. Teams right now, they're going back, they're making some adjustments, fixing up the robots, changing batteries. That's one of the reasons why you don't see the same. We don't just play that one quarterfinal matchup all the way to completion because the robots need a chance to get reset and rest. So that's why we're bouncing around the bracket here.
And you have to win twice in order to advance out of the quarterfinals. So
yep, correct.
We're still only halfway home in these quarterfinal matches.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so number 1 versus number 8 is going to be our next matchup. They're out on the field getting set up here. And again,
let's head down and reconnect with Kaylee.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm here with Owen from the Blue Alliance. Tell me, Owen, what are you going to take from that match into the future?
So something we kind of realized from that match is we a little bit struggled from hanging. We kind of want to make sure we get that for our next time, especially when we play them again a little bit. We did good with scoring. We outscored them with balls, so I think if we get that hang down, we'll probably be able to beat them.
Yeah, I mean, it was tight. Tell me what was going through your mind through that.
I was mostly just kind of listening to my drive coach. I'm the driver. My drive coach is just yelling at me to make sure we're getting balls, make sure we're scoring so we can try and beat the other team. I was mostly a little worried. We missed the hang a little bit. We had something stuck, so we make sure we won't do it again. But I was mostly just kind of zoned in, making sure we got those balls inside of the goal.
All right, thanks, Owen. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys. We're going to be back after we're going to be back in just a few minutes after this quick timeout.
How do you change the way the world moves? Change course. Active is engineering the brain and the nervous system to bring the future of mobility to life with advanced computing platforms and smart vehicle architecture, taking you from point A to point B and every point in between. We are Active, and we're moving mobility forward.
At Consumers Energy, we believe change is imagining. Change is big, small, clean. Him, them, us, you. Together, we can bring clean energy to Michigan and protect the environment for generations to come. Learn about your clean energy choices and how you can become a force of change. consumersenergy.com/change.
DTE believes leaders are defined by doing what's right, not what's easy. So we're tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years and using cleaner natural gas. Working even harder to create a future where producing affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. DTE.
We are halfway through the first set of quarterfinal matches. You got to win 2. So Red Alliances, it's I guess if you're red, you're good. Blue,
so
not so much.
Yep, so far. And again, the Red Alliance, always the higher seed. So kind of expected so far we have chalk, but it's going to be hard for our number 8 Alliance to find a way to come back from that first loss. Again, our first match was 87-28. So, you know, look for some more defense. We did have a robot disabled in that match, again, for their bumper falling off. That was 78-14, I believe. So look for them to come back, maybe score some more goals, but maybe also contribute to the defense as well.
So it's the Trisonic Strike Force and Green... Read that right.
The Green Engineers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put an extra letter in there. Then it's the Blue Alliance River Valley Gearheads, Counter Torque Robotics, and more Robodogs.
Yep. So we got Robodogs, Robodogs 3D, and more Robodogs here today.
Running out of numbers for those Robodogs. Hey, a question. Geographically, we're on the west side of the state, southwest side of the state, but there's still a couple of schools from the east side, one from Troy, one from Madison Heights. What's their incentive and process for wanting to be here today?
You know, a lot of the times it's just they want to travel, they want to see other teams, see how other teams are doing. You can end up in a bubble if you just play the events, you know, right next to you. And, you know, if you have a little bit extra in your budget, you can afford the hotel rooms, why not? Another thing teams will do is sometimes teams will aim for week events, collect more points, qualify for the state championship easier. But this is a tough event, so anybody making the trip to this event wants to play against good teams.
And if I'm reading this too right, Dan, some of these teams have gone to the extent to give their robot a specific name.
Yep.
So there's a team name, then a robot name. For Trisonics, their robot is Atlas. Strike Force, their robot is Tunnel Rat.
Yep.
There's probably a good story there.
There's a story behind all of them. I don't know them, but...
Well, at some point, as we move deeper into the season, maybe that'll come out. But.
Yeah, it's kind of a branding thing. Some teams take that very seriously, come up with a new theme for every year. Some teams, my team used to basically take the same name and add a number after it. So we were Las Gorillas, and we went with Cornelius, which I think was one of the characters from
Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
Nice.
And so we had Cornelius 1 through, I don't know what we're on now, 20 or something.
Yeah, nice pop culture reference,
Yeah.
way to go. And here we go, it's autonomous for 15 seconds. A lot of red balls flying into that cargo hub.
2 bounced out, that could keep it a little bit closer. We'll see the second barrage here from 4003. They are not pulling the trigger. They might have missed the pickup, it looks like.
You know, I know these, and to talk to the weight of the balls, you can see them kind of bouncing all over from year to year. I don't remember seeing balls be this jumpy or active. That's by design.
It is by design, yeah. There's a set pressure, and so all of the balls are inflated to the same pressure within spec. So they're bouncing the way that the game design committee wanted them to bounce.
Not a ton of points early. We're seeing a lot of defense on both Blue and Red Alliance. So Blue Alliance, Red Alliance, Trisonics fires away quickly in succession.
Strike Force right behind them, so they both got free at the same time there. And meanwhile, we see 78-14 just trying to get past the Green Engineers here, and they just, right now, maybe they're playing some counter defense actually, trying to free up 216, who I think is in position, but not able to pull the trigger. So maybe some problems with this Robodogs robot as well right now.
Yeah, we are trending for a very low scoring effort here, especially for the Blue Alliance. Red Alliance has been fairly consistent about getting shots up and into the hub, but Blue Alliance is stuck under 10.
You know, and Red is down too. Their autonomous mode in the first match, I think, was almost 30 points, and it was like half that this time. So a much closer match, but Blue, you know, I haven't seen a shot pretty much all teleop, and if they can't start putting some into the goal, hangs are not going to make up this deficit. 216 is not moving on the field. They still have control of their robot. They're still spinning their shooter wheel up, but they are parked in that spot, and that is not good.
Yeah, when you're stuck and you're not moving, that's more Robo-Dogs in a world of hurt right now as we go to hanging. And here we go with Strike Force. Yep. You can see in the middle of your screen there.
Strike Force, of course, going to be going for the highest one. On the other side of our field, we have 65-88, also going for that highest bar, that traversal bar. Those scores should cancel out. They were both successful in the first match.
Red Alliance looking to position all three of their robots and get them hanging. You saw the Green Engineers robot elevated. Everything red is hanging. Blue Alliance didn't quite get there.
Nope. So Blue's got one on the high bar, one on the mid bar for 16 points, but Red's gonna beat them there with the same mid and high bar for 16 points and another one on the traversal bar. So Red's gonna extend their lead by 15 points with that end game.
And Red Alliance is poised to pick up their second win in the quarterfinal, which means they're moving into the semis.
Yeah, so unless the referees are coming with some penalties that we weren't expecting, it's going to be Red moving on to the semifinals.
Let's take a look back and see what we just saw. Yep. This is early.
Red's auto modes, they shot the balls, but only making 2 of 4 is going to hurt them. That's 8 points they left on the table there. Yep, and then Red comes back. 4003 normally comes back with more balls. They're empty, which means they missed their pickup. So
Blue Alliance defense here.
Yeah, knowing they have to play defense to keep this match close, and it was successful. They did bring the score down a little bit. You know, holding strike zone or strike force away from the goal here. And that was a very good bit of defense, but you know, in the end, it was not enough.
There's our final tally, a one-sided win for the Red Alliance, and they are punching their ticket into the semifinals. Well, we saw the Blue Alliance, but it's really the Red Alliance that really kind of handled this whole thing.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it was a good effort by the Blue Alliance. They made some adjustments, played more defense, but ultimately, not quite enough scoring.
Let's go downstairs and reconnect with Kaylee Marintet.
Hey guys, I'm here with Lydia from Trisonics. Tell me, obviously a really good win. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Our team is doing really good with our alliance partners. I feel like we really work really well together with all of our different abilities and weaknesses, and that seems to be really working really well for us.
What's going to keep this momentum going through the rest of the day?
I think that we have really good shooting and hanging, and so to be able to do that all over again, over and over and over, that's going to keep us pretty up there.
Okay, tell me what's your message to the rest of your teammates?
Say it again?
What's your message to the rest of your teammates?
We're doing great, and let's see, I don't know. We're doing great, we're doing a great job. We took a lot of hard work to get here, a lot of sleepless nights, stayed up really late a couple times. But I think we really deserve to be here. It's really fun.
Awesome, can't wait to watch you guys the rest of the day. Congratulations. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. And one of Kaylee's responsibilities today, catching up with some of the kind of deeper human interest stories. The average Joes, we've known about them for a long time, and they had some challenges, serious challenges to deal with as they kind of started their robotics season. And earlier today, Kaylee spoke with Noah Brooks from that team.
Hey everyone, we're here with Noah from the Average Joes. Noah, how's today been going so far for you?
So far, I've just been watching from the stands. It's been really great to come back and see how great the team's doing. It's just really great stuff to see all around. Looks like the event is being run really, really well. It's just great stuff to see.
Yeah, I agree. So I understand that your team did lose a coach. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So our head coach, starting from our team was founded back in 2011 with Victor Verogop and our Dean of Students, Barry. And so as the team was run on it basically eventually fell on V. I joined the team back in 2016. I was one of the first people to run through the FLL teams programs here. And the first one to make it through the whole series of first things. And when I first met V, I was quite frankly terrified of him, because I was about this tall and he was about this tall. And he's a big Dutch man. He's got a face. But the one thing about V is he is an extraordinarily capable person at finding the potential in every single student on the team. And when I joined the team as a freshman, they told me that I would get everything that I put back into it. And there were so many times I wanted to walk away from this, that it was frustrating, that I was having battles, that I was learning how to deal with new types of people and under this pressure. And they were right. I'm in college right now. I'm about to graduate in a year, and I feel like every single one of those skills, hard skills or soft skills, is transferred to my life, and I'll be forever grateful for it. And it's more than the robot. And a lot of the times, a lot of people in here want to believe it's the robot because that's fun. It gets you engaged and it generates passion. But that's what he used. Like he recognized that, and he was willing to push the students as far as they were willing to go. And that's what I want to thank him for.
Yeah. What does he mean to the team? Obviously a lot to you personally.
Yeah. To the team, I think that's where most of us derive our motivation from. How can you keep going and put all of this effort in to do this without seriously pushing yourself? And to see him at the front showing up, like, we saw him more than his family did at times. You have to put in so much as a coach, but he put in 120%. We could see that. And that's why, I mean, look at this aisle, all of my peers that are all in college right now are right back here because they want to come back and contribute just like he did. So,
you guys kind of became his family.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was at his we had a visitation after his funeral, and it was really just all the people who had spent time with him and have gone through this program and sort of realized what he did for us. And I think I was feeling awful before it, but I think that was possibly the best closure anyone could have given me in the whole wide world. So to see this going on, to see all these teams working, and to see kids in my position that are under that especially this event, because there's a lot of 3-match turnarounds, under that crazy fix-it pressure, that adrenaline, that passion that first generates, what it's for. I think Woody said 2 years ago that we were about to change culture, but I think we already did it. So
I'm sure he's really proud of you.
I'd hope.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Noah, and good luck today, and thank you so much for your time.
And to honor him, just one last thing. We have the apron. So he's a very humble man, I would say. I have a bigger one on the back of my shirt. We wanted something very, very simple. We know that he would probably hate if we had a big banner for him. Something went well. So we wanted to do something very small and symbolic. This is his apron that he always wore every single day.
This apron?
Yep. So in the left pocket, pair of calipers, 3 pens in the right, and his name tag. Every single day, I saw him when I was in high school as that. To honor him, we're keeping that same apron hanging up where he used to put it in the shop, and I hope it never moves. So.
I love that. That's a great remembrance of him. I'm so glad you guys put that on your shirt.
Yeah, hopefully by Lansing we'll have them on all the Joes. So.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much, Noah. Back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. You know, Dan, we get really kind of over-consumed by the robots and the mechanics, and it's the mentors, the human connection of an adult giving back to these kids that really brings this whole organization, Michigan First Robotics, together.
Yeah, and with 3620, he built, one of the pillars of the First Robotics community here in Southwest Michigan. And you can tell we are in St. Joseph High School having the event here. They are hosting the event. And so that is, a big loss for of course, the team and the First community at large.
So we have one team that has already moved into our semifinals. Now we've got a chance for the 4 and 5 alliances to knock heads again, so to speak.
Closer match the first time.
Yep.
Our number 4 alliance in red took it 70-53. But again, that's a missed hang away from being a tie. So we'll see what kind of changes they made here.
Red Alliance, we have the Norsemen, the Average Joes, Noah part of that, and the Robotarians. Blue Alliance is Hammerheads, Team Chaos, and DQ.
Yeah, so we want to keep an eye on in auto mode, right? We want to watch 3620, and we want to watch 74 and 226 on the Blue Alliance. But after that, once the drivers take over, I'm going to keep an eye on 2959. They're going to be playing defense again, I think. And if they can shut 74 down again like they did in the first match, then we're going to have our second semifinalist.
Everybody getting in position. The cargo has been placed on the playing field.
Yep, there are actually dots out there, so the cargo starts in the same spot every time. All right, Average Joes.
Good start for the Blue Alliance.
Makes 2. We got 2 more, 3. I think, wow, Robotarian's also hitting, I think, 1 or 2 of theirs.
Team Chaos just dropped another one, but the Red Alliance.
1 more for Average Joes. That's a big autonomous score, 26. I think the second highest we've seen so far today.
Yeah, there we go with the Red Alliance It's been all red so far in pretty much every match. Let's see if Blue Alliance can make a little bit of a comeback here.
Will be a big hill to climb. You can see 29-59 getting right up against the Hammerheads.
And it seems like everybody's going for that upper hub.
Yeah, and just our number 2 Alliance is aiming low.
We can see the average Joes and the Norsemen for the Red Alliance in position to score. Now Blue Alliance makes one in the upper hub, but one's a little bit too long.
And
still a tangible lead for the Red Alliance, not a big lead.
74 is doing a little bit better job this match, sneaking away from 29-59, the Rotarians, to get a few shots off, but they've been firing from farther away, and they've not been accurate enough. Average Joe's now with 2 more, and that's, I mean, the big thing is, like, this 36-20, the Average Joe's robot is just left alone. They can go wherever they want on the field. There is no defender in sight.
Are you seeing a lot of strategy, Dan, with teams going for upper hub versus lower hub?
Yeah, I mean, I expect the upper hub to dominate. That's why, again, our number 2 Alliance, and we'll talk more about them when they come back up to play again, is so interesting because they went all low. But they're the only Alliance doing so. So here it's upper hub versus upper hub. And with the lead, Average Joes are going to hang again early, very early again, 44 seconds. And I don't know if they have to go quite this early, but I think they feel like they have the match in hand, and they just want to secure those points.
Yeah, again, there's low rung, mid rung, high rung, and traversal rung. So a lot of options for these alliances when they're hanging their robots.
Yeah, and they're going to be going all the way up. That's a traversal rung hang for 36-20, 15 points. 226 is trying to match them.
That's a game changer right there with the traversal.
Yeah, but that hook is taking a while to get hooked on that high rung for 226. I don't know if they have time to go traversal rung here.
Well, we did not see a huge outburst of points, but with the hanger zone scoring coming into play, that might swing it a little more one-sided in favor of the Red Alliance.
Yep, another 27 points for Red in that endgame period. So that is going to probably enlarge their lead. I think we probably have our second semifinalist.
And let's go back to the beginning and see how it plays out.
Yeah, look at that auto mode. Everybody on Red can shoot high, and they all were hitting. And then 36-20 picks up one more ball. This is going to be their 3rd shot, and they make it. That's hard to come back from with Blue missing the number of shots that they were missing.
Now let's pick up the Blue defense, but the Blue Alliance still getting their shot off.
It's an interesting choice. 904 chose to defend 36-88. That's the Norsemen. They're going to be able to get their shot off here. A little bit of battling, but they're lined up, and they're just going to shoot over the top of the defense. I'm not sure if that was the right target. Maybe they should have gone after 36-20 instead.
Let's roll in that scoreboard and confirm that it is a Red Alliance win. A little bit of advantage in power cell, a little advantage in control panel.
Yeah, again, I mean, they went into endgame with the lead, and then they just grew it. They had that one traversal climb by 36-20, the St. Joe robot. The question for St. Joe and this alliance moving forward is, can they afford to go for that hang with 45 seconds left in the match every time? When they come up against some of the stronger alliances later in this bracket, they might have to start pushing that later and later, and we're going to see if that affects their play.
So we are working our way through the quarterfinals. Now 2 teams have moved into the semifinals, and our next match, quarterfinal match, is the Blue Alliance and the Red Alliance, 2 seed against the 7 seed.
Yeah, and we alluded to the 2 seed. Again, we're going to see this 2 seed that goes low goals. Counter to everybody else, they go low goals. We'll see if they can pull it off again.
And in the pits we go to Kaylee.
Yeah, hey there, guys. I'm here with a team member from the Blue Alliance. Tell me, how are you feeling right now?
I'm a bit disappointed we didn't win, but it's fine. We got to the quarterfinals, which is way better than we expected to. We even placed 7th in the qualifying matches.
What are you going to take from this into the future?
I think we really need to get a traversal climb working, and also it would be great if we could figure out how to deal with the defense, like maybe go under the low bar or something like that.
How are you feeling about the rest of the day?
It went amazingly well, actually. It was a fun time. We won more of our matches than we expected, and honestly, I'm surprised we even made it onto an alliance.
Really?
Yes. Our robot was not looking very good 2 days ago.
Now it's kind of a change of pace.
Yes, it is a change of pace, definitely.
All right, sounds good. All right, thank you so much. Good luck in the future. We actually do have someone here from the Red Alliance who's going to come join us now. Hey, how you doing? Bryce. Okay. How are you feeling after that?
Honestly, it was a fantastic match. I couldn't have asked for more to go right. We pretty much just tried to do lockdown defense, prevent points from being scored on the opposite alliance. Overall, great match. Lots of points prevented. Overall, very good.
What do you think were one of the strongest things that got you through that, and what do you want to improve on?
Yeah, so there's obviously things we can improve on, but honestly, we had a great offensive side, but we didn't struggle on the defense side. So we held off points and also received them, and I think that's something we did really well.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Bryce. We're going to send it back to you.
Kaylee, thank you. As we work through the quarterfinals, and again, it's just 2 wins and you're in the semis. So we have got Turbulence, Twin River Robotics 7195, and RoboDogs 3D repping for the Blue Alliance, Red Alliance, Tech Tigers, Bionic Bison, and Robo Rangers.
Yeah. And I just gotta say, don't let the 74 student there fool you. They won this event in 2018, so they might be having a rough event here today, but that is a strong team.
Yeah. Some growing pains early, inevitable every year with whatever machine you're rolling out, but a lot of these mentors can really do a good job of helping these students get everything pointed in the right direction.
And they'll be back for their next event. I'm sure they're going to have their robot improved, keep iterating, and they'll give it a run. But it's that number 2 seed now, right? That low goal versus high goal battle. We saw some low goals from both alliances here, but the number 2 seeded alliance in red, happy to go low goal all day long.
And we're starting autonomous all low goal. Now one goes high, but it ends up low.
That was the human player who threw that one in, I think.
I was going to say, yeah.
And the human players start with 1 ball, so you can take 1 shot.
Okay.
Again, it's 25 feet away, so it's not an easy shot, and with how bouncy those balls are, it's hard to make them stick.
Out of autonomous, so now it's humans controlling the robots.
Yep, blue with a fairly substantial lead out of autonomous, but red has already cut it in half. It's now 11 for red, 14 for blue. And just that 55-35, so fast, getting those balls, dumping them in. They missed one. That's uncharacteristic.
Yeah, that's Bionic Bison. Everybody going low for the most part. Red Alliance keeping it down on that low hub, avoiding the upper hub.
And it's 244. 244 is the robot that should be shooting high. And once again, they're not moving. We thought they had problems with their robot in the first match, and they're having problems with that robot again in this match. Just came back to life.
That's RoboDogs 3D.
Yep, we'll see if they can get in position to shoot this ball. I mean, they had a ball in the first match, never were able to pull the trigger. Meanwhile, those low goals are adding up. Red's got an advantage now, 23-17.
Yeah, Bionic Bison picked up 2, knocked them in on the low hub, and it's going to try again. Reposition and fire and fill it. So.
Yep, and I mean, again, 100% in the low goal is the same as 50% in the high goal.
Right, yeah, slow and steady wins the race. And we might have a dead robot, 244. That's the RoboDogs 3D.
Yeah, they lost connection to the field. They got it back. They lost connection again, and they got it back. So what that generally means is one of their components, either their main computer or their radio, is maybe losing power. Power's cutting out there, causing the robot to restart. But the restart time is so long that's really, really going to hurt them in this match.
There's the Robo Rangers for the Red Alliance starting their hang.
And they did 244, did come back, made a high shot, but is it too little too late?
Yeah, this is close. The hanging points are going to be tangible as we wind things down here. All 3 red robots making their move to hang. Blue Alliance only got 2.
43-25 missed their grab at the traversal hook, or the traversal bar. They have another chance, and they stick their second chance, and that should ice the match. We will see. It looks to me like 21 hanging points in red and only 12 for blue. Red with the advantage going into that end game means they should be able to just expand their lead.
Let's see how it plays out with everything happening pretty much on the lower hub to start.
That's that autonomous mode. Again, they're worth 2 points instead of 1 during autonomous mode, and that long shot going into the low basket there. And this is that Captain Robot that's just been doing these logos all day. Just able to dump those in. And, you know, no defense seen in this match. A lot of that is because that 244 robot was really maybe working for 30 seconds of that 2-minute and 30-second match. Couple more low.
Down in the pits we go as we reconnect with Kaylee Marentet. Oh, here we go.
You guys got me?
Gotcha.
Sorry, having a little technical difficulties down here. It's a little crazy. I'm here with, it's Carl from Tech Tigers. Tell me how you're feeling after that win.
I'm feeling amazing. That was really great.
What do you think got you through that win?
Just some really good offense from our Alliance members, but also we locked down the Robo Dogs, made sure they couldn't get any cargo into the second goal, just locked it down.
How do you think your Alliance did help you in that? What was their strength that helped you guys?
Well, it was just their coordination, right? So they went in for the climb, the triple climb, and we came in afterwards. You know, our coaches were communicating, making sure that we knew when to go in so we didn't interfere with each other.
Sounds good. All right, congratulations on that win. And we actually do have a member from the Blue Lions as well, if you want to join me over here. Hi, how are you feeling after that?
Oh, what a thrill, honestly. Our team, personally, we're only 5 years old, so we've never made it this far in a competition, so our entire team is ecstatic.
Okay, what are you going to take from this to the rest of the day and into the future?
Well, we've learned a lot of our flaws, I guess if you say, for our machine. So we have a couple of them we learned throughout the day. We had one minor situation with our climbing arms that we're going to have to fix in the coming weeks before our next competition.
Are there any other flaws that maybe caught your eye?
We do have an inefficiency with grabbing balls. We have to kind of line it up really well, so we're going to plan on making an arm to grab those in, make it a lot easier on our drivers.
All right, thanks so much and good luck. All right, back to you.
Kaylee, thanks as we roll into the scores. And actually, we're going to check the next quarterfinal match, the last one, with everybody except these two have moved into the semifinals. Tech Vikes, Team Lancebot, and Megahertz Robotics against the Robodogs, the Foley Freeze, and East Grand Rapids Robotics. Red Alliance, the 3 seed, beating the 6 seed in that first quarterfinal match.
Yep, first match was 73-56 for Red, so a comfortable win, but not beyond the ability for the Blue Alliance here, our number 6 seed, to come back. They got to mix it up a little bit, of course, and make some more shots.
It'll be nice to see a little bit of action for the Blue Alliance. They've kind of been shut out so far, so I'd like to see them turn the tide just a bit.
Yep. And we'll see again, we're going to need to see more successful defense this time from the Blue Alliance. I believe they send 5980 to play defense. And we know both 288 and 910 can put some balls in the upper goal. So they got to just pick their speed up. We call that cycle time from shooting to shooting. That's your cycle time. They need to just shrink that down by a few seconds, and you know they can compete here.
We are ready to roll in this final quarterfinal match. 3 teams are in the semis. We'll find out who the 4th is as we start the autonomous period. One blue make, one red make.
And I think that was a human player shot again that went in.
Yeah, everybody seemingly going up top to the upper hub.
You know what? There's a lot of misses. There's a lot of misses here, so it's very close. 22-14. Red with 2 extra balls in that autonomous period. Tech Vikes 2054 makes 1 of 2. And we'll see that defense, 5980, is now in the red robot zone, just hitting everybody they can hit. They were on 50-56, they were on 20-54, but now it looks like they're going to grab some balls of their own and maybe switch to take a shot.
It looks like that Blue Alliance is more defense focused. You watch the Foley Freeze trying to pick up a ball and
And they rotated out. We saw 5980 leave defense when 288 went to play defense. I don't know if that was the plan or if something is wrong with the 288 robot. So they might not be able to shoot. They have a ball stuck inside. They might not be able to shoot, so they might have swapped over to playing defense to get some value out of that robot.
Got to re-strategize on the fly as we see the Red Alliance putting that ball in the upper hub. A little bit more activity there. Blue Alliance comes through with a make up top from the Foley Freeze machine.
Yeah, a little bit of a standoff there between Foley and Tech Vikes. Both of them, I think, want to play offense, but they were content to get in each other's way for a bit. Just trying to find, sometimes you can get unlucky. It's that the 910 robot is trying to find balls, and they're just in bad spots on the field for blue.
Inside 1 minute left, and not a ton of points here for either alliance.
As we have a 6 robot scrum for a minute before 42-37 is able to break free.
They're not worried about cargo. They're worried about banging the other robots.
Yeah, so crucially, if blue is having robot problems, this is within an end game. They can still make a comeback here with hangs if they can get more.
So we'll see who's going to go first on the hangs. That's the blue robot. That's the Robo-Dogs.
They're defending the hang. Blue is defending red's hangs. Blue is not going to be able to score the hang on their own. So you can see that Tech Vikes robot wanted to be in position. They wanted to be in position 20 seconds ago, though, and they probably do not have time to go for the traversal hang. That's going to keep the score closer, but I don't think Blue's going to be able to come back.
So Tech Vikes is hanging, and we go to 0. Interesting strategy. We don't see that much defending on the hang.
Yeah, so and they knew they got beat on the hang badly last match. So what they're having to do now is defend it, but 2054 still getting a high bar. That's 10 points instead of 15. And I think they had a second one hanging for 6, which means they're still gonna win the hanging period.
Back to the front of this as we watch it unfold again.
So that all-important autonomous period, we're seeing a few balls bounce out. That one from 910. Again, 910's arc is just so high in the air. You have all that extra energy in the ball, it's more likely to bounce out. But it is easier to center that shot in. And now we can see just all the robots coming over to the red side of the field.
If robots could cheer, they'd be cheering defense, right?
Yeah, that was that transition point where 5980 left, 288 came in, took over the defensive duties, and they did keep the score down, but I don't know if they kept it low enough. And as we come to the end game here, there are some protections for hanging robots. So you cannot hit a robot while it's attached to a bar or touching a bar. And in the last 30 seconds, you can see that tape line here. That zone inside the tape line is actually protected. So they were playing with fire, defending there right up to that line. If they hit a robot inside that line, they actually give them a free 15-point climb. And that might have happened in that match. We'll have to wait and see the final tally from the referees.
Well, that had its drama for sure. Low scoring, but hey, the defense, if you want to go defense, that's what you do.
You're kind of always put in this position. You lose the first match. You're coming back for match number 2. If you go strength against strength, if you do the same thing you did in the first match, you're basically banking on, you know, that other alliance to have problems with their robots. And what we saw here was they mixed the strategy up. They tried some crazy stuff. I would always go in that direction because I think it gives you a better chance of winning. Unfortunately, looked like there might have been some more issues with that 288 robot, and it does look like there were some penalty points as well, just boosting red up there.
So we'll bring up our scoreboard in just a moment here with the Red Alliance as we wrap up our quarterfinals. And we look at the score here. Number 3 Alliance moving on. The cargo points and the hanger points were the difference.
Yep, so 4 penalty points. I think that was, there's contact in one protected spot on the field that you can shoot from. I think there was contact there. The 16 hanger points means the defense was clean at the end. So that was a valiant effort by our number 6 Alliance, but ultimately coming up just a little bit short.
And downstairs we go to Kaylee.
Hey guys, I'm here with Max from the Red Alliance. Max, tell me, what was the number 1 thing you think that got you through that win?
Oh man, just our amazing alliance partners, you know. Such great teams. We've really made good friends with them, and we worked with them in the past, and it's really helped us out. Like, we have all our scouting data and, you know, compiled all the teams, and we just said, you know, who do we work the best with? And they ended up being right on top right there, and we've helped them through their practice matches, and, you know, we helped them do some code in the robot, so it kind of just meshed together so well. So we're very lucky to have them on our team.
What are some of the characteristics you looked for in an alliance?
Just, you know, good overall. There's respect between them. Like no one's taking all the roles. No one's doing everything for them. You know, and that they all have a voice. You know, it's not one person speaking for the whole group. They're all able to, you know, each have their little bit in the conversation. Each provide, you know, something. And it just works so well because everybody gets a chance to shine. There's so many new ideas on the table. It just works so well. So,
all right, thanks so much. Thank you so much, Max, and congratulations on the win. All right, we're going to be back in a few minutes after this timeout.
DTE believes leaders are defined by doing what's right, not what's easy. So we're tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years and using cleaner natural gas. Working even harder to create a future where producing affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. DTE.
How do you change the way the world moves? Change course. Aptiv is engineering the brain and the nervous system to bring the future of mobility to life with advanced computing platforms and smart vehicle architecture, taking you from point A to point B and every point in between. We are Aptiv, and we're moving mobility forward.
Innovation usually looks something like this. But what if it didn't? What if it looked like a family truck that powers a family home? Or an ordinary drive made extraordinary? Let's change what innovation looks like. From floating around in your own personal space capsule up here to what we could build for all Americans down here.
I got into energy because I really love playing around with cutting-edge technology.
I got into energy because ever since I was a kid, I've been a social butterfly.
I got into energy because I didn't want to spend all day in an office.
I got into energy because I have always been a problem solver.
I got into energy because I wanted to work in a skilled trade.
I got into energy because I know that it's stable local work.
There are lots of reasons to get into energy, and chances are we have a career that's right for you. Get inspired at consumersenergy.com/careers.
So we have our semifinal matches set. And we reshuffle the Alliance deck just a little bit. Explain what we're looking at here, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, thus far, we've had some exciting matches, but the results are 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 for the higher seed. So far, Chalk is holding. You will notice that all of our red alliances moved on, so some of them we're going to have to switch to blue. So you might see, for example, that St. Joe, our number 4 alliance, St. Joe, Suttons Bay, and Coloma, we'll be going from red bumpers to blue bumpers. Our number 1 seeded alliance, that Strike Force alliance, will stick with the red. Same thing is happening in the bottom of the bracket. Thus far, scores have been all over the place. Number 1 alliance averaged 82 points across their quarterfinal matches, all the way down to the lowest scoring, which was our number 2 seeded alliance, managed their way into the semifinals, which is an average score of 57.5. So a big differential there. We'll have to see if the defense versus the offense mix-up there changes.
We like to key on the great mentors who devote themselves to helping this Michigan First Robotics program succeed. One of them, a guy we're going to spotlight right now, Doug Heffer, as we reconnect with Kaylee.
Hey everyone, we're here with Doug from Granville. And Doug, tell me, you got a lot of teams here. Tell me about that.
We do. We've got 3 teams here. We're the only high school in America, we think, with 3 teams, 216, 244, and 288.
You got a lot of students. Tell me what it's like handling all of them.
It is constant activity. So we started in 1998 with 1 team, 288. And over the years, we added 2 more because kids like to be hands-on with a robot. We're a program where the students do everything. We're hands-off from an adult standpoint. So the kids design, build, program, and test these robots themselves. When you do that, you can't put 25 kids around one robot. There's not space. So we grew from 1 team to 3 over the years.
Tell me what that growth was like for you or for the entire school, growing that much.
So I've been around the program for 15 years now, so I was not here at the very beginning, but it was a lot of fun to watch. I was here when we brought the second and the third team, so watching teams have more chances to build independent robots was fun because each team's robot is different. We have one here with a lacrosse shooter this year. They actually bring the cargo up and they shoot it with a lacrosse racket. We have others that have spinning wheels, so it's fun to watch all the different creative thought go into these robots.
Sure, yeah. Tell me what it's like being a mentor for so many students.
It comes with all the other challenges of working with high school kids. High school kids will listen to you a point, and then you have to let them learn. Competition brings out the best in kids because maybe you told them 22 times that they need to put collars on the ends of that axle to keep things in place, and they didn't want to do that. They get here, they have the pressure of time and competition, and all of a sudden they perform at a level and they learn things they'd never learn without the pressure of competition.
Obviously, a lot more students in these other teams. Tell me about the chemistry between all these students.
It's a lot of fun to watch three teams that are peers but compete against each other. So it's frequent that we're on opposite sides of an alliance. So one will be on the Red Alliance, one on the Blue Alliance. And these kids are now cutthroat competitors. They're out there to play the game and play hard. And when you know all the strengths and weaknesses of your opponent at the level our kids know, it makes for a really interesting competition.
Very interesting, I bet. You sound like a busy guy.
It's been a busy time. Our district right now is in the process of building the first facility of its kind in America. We're building about 100,000 square foot competition arena just for robotics. We're going to be able to host an event twice the size in a dedicated facility in Granville, Michigan next year. So our district and our community is so supported because when you get that many kids hands-on with robots, it changes the kids' trajectories. They go to college, they get engineering degrees. In the last year, we have kids at Space Force. I got kids at General Motors. I got kids working for Tardak, was the military's tank group. We have these kids go to all these crazy places, and the parents go, that's so cool. So they support us, so the district supports us, and the program grows some more.
That's it. That's the magic answer.
It is. It's been a lot of fun.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Back to you.
All right, Doug and Kaylee, thank you so much as we settle in now for our first semifinal match with the Red Alliance, the #1 seed, with Trisonic, Strike Force, and the Greengineers. The Blue Alliance will be the Robotarians, the Average Joes, and the Norsemen.
So now we're going to see. #1 Alliance had a relatively easy matchup in their quarterfinal. We'll see now if they can be tested or if we're going to have a #1 seed run away with the whole thing.
Yeah, things are going to get a little bit more complicated going forward for sure.
And again, #1 seeded Alliance averaged 82 points across their quarterfinal matches. Our #4 seeded Alliance only 69.5. So we got about a 12.5 point discrepancy here. They're going to have to find a way to make up those 12.5 points, either through making a few extra shots or finding a way to play some defense and bring that other score down.
Best guess on any changes that either of these teams might be making coming into this, now the semis?
I think for the first match, we're going to see them play the same match they played before. We'll see 34-52, the Greengineers from the Red Alliance try to play some defense, and we're going to see that Robotarians robot 29-59 try to do the same. And that might decide who's most ultimately going to win this match, whoever's more successful there.
And we fire it up, and the autonomous period begins. Red Alliance gets a couple of quick shots up with their cargo. Blue Alliance trying to follow and keep pace.
Now 29-59, trying to pick up a second ball. It's stuck on their intake. That's going to be a lost opportunity.
Yeah, that's the Robotarians machine. Finally, they release. Still a 10-point Blue Alliance lead after autonomous.
And hey, if they play even from here on in, there's the 10 points. They can give the points back slowly and still be in this at the end. We'll see. Also, I think there was just a foul called on red for illegal defense. That's going to be another 4 points, if true.
Illegal defense, how?
There's a protected zone. There are some blue panels for the Blue Alliance, red panels for the Red Alliance, right on those trusses where they hang from. If you're touching those, you cannot be touched. Any contact there is a penalty.
So still a little work for the Red Alliance to do, and Blue Alliance, everybody going high for that upper hub and the cargo. They're firing their cargo at that upper hub.
All right, 29-59 is really bringing it to Strike Force here. 1 of 2 there, but it took Strike Force so long to get those 2 balls and get in position. And we'll see here now again, look at them battling back. and backing off. 29-59 is playing smart defense. They backed off to not take the same penalty that we saw earlier in the match. Strikeforce does get by and add 2. This match is tightening up.
Red Alliance going strong to that upper hub.
34-30, 34-32. But Blue answers back with 3.
Wow, things really getting tight as we come down the stretch here. No one's hanging yet, but Red Alliance going up.
Average Joe's still 45 seconds. They did not change their timing. They're going early again.
And Red Alliance is going to send Green Engineers over there into the hanging position.
Yep, we'll see 1-point lead for Blue right now. A 1-point lead.
And still some cargo flying up to that upper hub. That was the Strikeforce machine sending a couple now. Everyone's going to go to their, well, not quite yet. Spoke too soon.
That's going to make it a 1-point lead for Red, but 36-88 just a last-second shot to make it 1 point for Blue.
Every point is counting here. And the Strikeforce, the Trisonics machine late to hang. Will they get up in time?
So this is it, Red. If they can get these traversals, I think they still win. They got 1. Strikeforce is not getting the other one.
Blue Alliance.
But Average Joe's missed their traversal. So this is just straight chaos in the end game.
Yeah, Blue Alliance maybe fading a little bit at the end. They couldn't hang. Red Alliance, though, razor sharp, getting those robots in position to hang.
Yep, so Blue, going into the end game, I think Blue won the last-second battle for points, but I think Red won the hangs. So we'll see. Good start from the Blue Alliance, getting a lot of shots off. But again, 29-59, there is a jam there. They usually shoot one more shot. It would have been nice if they could have gotten those points. That's something they can work on for next match. Red missed a lot, so we got to watch out for that.
Is this the illegal defense?
Yeah, you see that blue panel. They're going to, I think, fade back to this blue panel. Nope, that wasn't it. Couple of shots there under good defense, but there's that blue panel in the back, and if they're touching that blue panel, that's where you can't be defended. We'll see if those penalty points came up. I saw the ref wave a flag, but I don't know for sure if that penalty was called.
And we're finding out here that the Red Alliance is going to win. It's kind of surprising. Blue Alliance started strong but could not finish, and it was the hanger that really tipped the scales for the Red Alliance.
Yeah, it fell apart. Average Joe's have been going really early to hang. 45 seconds left in the match just to guarantee they can get up to that traversal bar. They did not make it. And they need that because the Red Alliance, our #1 seed, has 2 robots that can make it all the way up to that 15-point traversal bar.
Let's go to the board, and again, cargo points, taxi points, almost break even. It's the hanger that carries it for the Red Alliance.
Yeah, and we do see there was a 4-point penalty, but not enough to turn the tide. I mean, 31-16 in the hanger points is a problem, and the Blue Alliance is going to either have to find a way to score some more balls, get a bigger advantage before the end game, or they might have to try that hanging defense that we saw in an earlier match. But you can't lose by that many points in the end game right now when it's so close in cargo.
Let's get the perspective from the pits as we rejoin. We will rejoin Kaylee in just a minute. And we have our first semifinal in the books. Our second semifinal with the other 2 will come up momentarily. Back in the pits we go to Kaylee Marentet.
Hey guys, I'm here with Lydia. Tell me about that win.
It was really neck to neck. It was really close. But I think that hang was very, very close.
What was going through your mind? I mean, literally neck and neck the entire time. What was going through your mind when that clock counted down?
It was really, really exciting. I was really proud of our team members who were able to get on the traversal rung. Very proud of them for that.
What do you think got you through that win? What was your strongest point?
I think our strongest point was that climb.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thanks, congratulations. We're gonna send it back to you.
Kaylee, thank you. Yeah, a lot of energy and adrenaline kicking in down there with this afternoon, and Dan, as you've been a mentor, you've seen this from the ground up. What is it like to kind of watch these kids start to kind of bloom, come out a little bit more as the season goes on? Now they're even more engaged in all this.
Yeah, I mean, that's always one of the most rewarding things as a mentor is to really see them, grow into this position. And for drivers, one of the things we have to keep in mind is last year's season was canceled. Almost all of the drivers we're seeing this year are probably first-year drivers. So that's that much more pressure. They can't have had any experience last year in the same way. So really impressive stuff from all of our teams to be able to come out here and still execute at the level they're executing at.
For sure. So we're going to introduce the second semifinal here. And we'll get the colors straightened out.
Yep, so our number 2 seed is going to be in red.
Okay.
Our number 3 seed will switch over to the blue bumpers.
Got it. Team the Blue Alliance is Team Lanceabot, Tech Vikes, and Megahertz Robotics. Red Alliance, the Robo Rangers, Bionic Bison, and Tech Tigers.
This is one of our most interesting matchups of the day, I think. We saw that number 2 Alliance going low goal, and defense, and keeping their scores down, but managing to find a way to win. Our Tech Vikes and Lanceabot have been going high goal. And so now we see a clash of styles. Is the low goal and defense going to be enough? Can they bring that high goal scoring down low enough that they can keep up with it?
So the field has been thinned out down to our final 4. And these balls are, they're especially made for this robotics competition, right?
They're actually...
I can't buy these at Dick's or Walmart.
I bought one. It was green, though, not blue or red. I bought one on Amazon just to see what the game pieces were like. So these, they were sold as novelty oversized tennis balls. And first goes out, and they look for stuff like this because this makes a good game piece. A good game piece is cheap. A good game piece is accessible, easy to buy for all the teams, and durable. And it turns out these tennis balls, I don't know if we've replaced any of them at this competition, whereas some years we'll use dodgeballs, and those will pop, and they'll be running through them all day long.
So teams tweaking their robots as we look at the number 2 Alliance here with New Buffalo, Benton Harbor, and Cassopolis represented. Who do you think is the team? Is it too early in the season for anybody here in this event, in this district, to feel like we're going to position ourselves to go way deep into next month?
Based on history, right, you have to start with 2767, Strike Force. 2767 has won 6 districts in their history. They won, last district win was only in 2018, though, so they've had a couple down years, but they have 2 world championships. They won back-to-back in 2017 and 2018. So anytime you talk about teams that are powerhouse teams that are going to be there at the end of the season, they make that list.
And you say the World Championships, let's refresh everybody. The Michigan Championships are in mid-April. And then the World Championships are early May, I think, in Houston.
Yeah, this year it's going to be the next weekend. So I don't remember the exact date, but it's going to be the Michigan State Championships, and the next weekend you are playing for the World Championship in Houston. And we send, I don't know what it is, we send a chunk of our teams. So the top, 30 or 40% of teams from the Michigan State Championship will qualify for that World Championship.
Is there a limit to how many teams a specific state can send?
It's based on your representation. So the more teams you have, the more teams you get to send. And we are underway.
Game action, here we go. Autonomous starting. Blue Lions trying to hit that high upper hub.
Yep. So blue going high, red going low, but it's only an 8-point advantage after Autonomous. That is definitely within the realm for our Red Alliance to make up here, our number 2 seed.
Blue Alliance with the Tech Vikes robot.
1940, there's a problem with 1940. When you see robots spinning around like that, it is not driving forward and backwards, but spinning. That usually means they lost one side of their drivetrain for a bit.
That's the Tech Tiger machine from Benton Harbor.
Yep, so the left side seems to be working. The right side of that drive is not working, and that means they lost their defense spot, and it's going to be real hard for them to stay in this match now. This was our low goal and defense alliance, so without the defense, low goal versus high goal is probably not going to end well.
And I guess the challenge is for the Blue Alliance, you have to recognize hey, your opponent's got a breakdown, you kind of have to shift your philosophy on the fly too, don't you?
Yeah. So go back to just making simple shots. And what we've seen so far is actually the Blue Alliance taking far shots, lots of bounce outs. They haven't been able to run the score up yet, so it's still a 5-point game.
Sometimes you get so consumed with your own 3 robots, you might miss what the other guy's doing.
One make, another bounce out. So this is staying really, really close.
Yeah, Blue Alliance has not opened up a gap yet. And Red Alliance still just trying to plug away with basically just 2 machines.
Yep, it looks like it might have come back. So the problem maybe is a little bit better. They did get across the field, but that's not the defense we saw in the quarterfinals.
Looks like Blue Alliance trying to pick and pop and go up. Got a climber. That's the Blue Alliance robot. That's the Tech Vikes.
They're going early again. Before 30 seconds, this is another robot that can make it all the way up to the top of the traversal bar.
Robo Rangers robot ready to hang. And joined there by the Tech Tigers as well.
Finally, 2 for 2 in the high goal. We've seen so many bounce out.
Boy, unless we have a late flurry of points, this is very low scoring. The Blue Alliance might get all 3 robots hanging here.
Yep, so Blue has the 15 for the traversal. That might be enough to secure the victory. It all depends on these other red robots. Can they get up in the air? They cannot, and in fact, 43-25 just fell down, and they are touching their partner. So if the refs determine that they're being supported by their partner robot, they're not even going to get credit for that high bar climb.
Wow. Well, the points do not necessarily go up exponentially once you're in the semifinals.
Right, well, we knew our number 2 seed in red likes to play kind of that low-scoring, grinded-out match.
Right.
And so, you know, they were able to dictate the pace of play here, but Blue, it's just too many missed shots. They put some on target, but we see one bouncing out there. We see this one sticking, but then I think the second one, okay, they got the second one in auto. Right, and now, some more shots from red. Again, red working that low goal, and they need to be close to 100% on that low goal. So, you know, those shots need to go in, and we got a good shot here of 1940. This is when they were having that drivetrain problem, and that robot is so key to their strategy. They need to get in position to bring down the other alliance's score. If they can get that fixed, it's going to look a lot better for them in the next match.
Let's roll into the scoreboard and see how things shake out. Not a lot of points, but it's the Blue Alliance. A shade more in cargo, a shade more in hangar, and not a great margin of difference. So, I mean, you look at the low scores, don't get distracted by that. It was just a close win for the Blue Alliance.
Yep. Let's see, I think we have our alliances switched here. So the Blue Alliance was our number 4 seed. The Red Alliance was our number 2 seed. So we did have the colors flipped there, but yeah, so we know our Red's bumper number 2 Alliance likes to come in and place low-scoring games, make the low goal as valuable as they can make it, and they dictated the course of play, which is good for them. But 1940, not playing the defense that we know they can play, was too much to overcome.
Downstairs we go to Kaylee Marintet.
I'm here with a Blue Alliance team member, Ainsley. Tell me, what was the most important part of that win?
So one of the most important parts was making sure that our intake that was broken in the last round was fixed enough. So when we got back to our pits, as soon as possible, we fixed it. And then we got it working so we could get back out there and get a win.
What goes through your mind when you have to think on your feet like that and make quick decisions?
Try not to mess up. Try not to break it again more and make it worse. Try to fix it and get it back out there.
Fair enough. How would you describe your growth as a team, not even just through, since you guys have been a team, but just today?
Today's just been crazy because we've just gone from being this team of people getting together to a real team and working together and working through what we're doing to make good decisions, be safe, and win at first.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Dan and Dan.
Kaylee, thank you so much. And of course, these events don't happen by snapping your fingers. There's a lot of great companies invested in making Michigan First Robotics successful. One of them is Whirlpool. And earlier, Kaylee talked with one of their representatives here today at St. Joseph High School.
Hey, we're back on Saturday. Lots of energy happening here after being away for 2 years. We're joined with one of our sponsors from Whirlpool. Brett, tell me how excited you are to be back.
Well, I'm really excited to be here, and Whirlpool's really happy to be the title sponsor of this. Whirlpool's all about making lives better for people at home, and this is just one of the ways that we do that is by sponsoring events like this in communities.
How important are these events like this to communities?
Well, it's really important, not only for the community to bring people back together, but also for Whirlpool, because we're looking for talent. Not only are we looking for talent for engineers and technicians, but we're also looking for people who can analyze data and turn those data into insight, and then eventually turn that into new product innovation for Whirlpool.
How special are these kids?
These kids are really important, and let me tell you, they're so important to me in putting on this event that I came back from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin to come put on the St. Joseph, Michigan event.
Wow. So obviously it's very special to you, right?
Yes, it is.
How special is it?
Well, it's very near and dear to my heart because I've also been a mentor for a local team here in Michigan. And what it does is it helps to set, not only gives me a way to give back to the community, but also it helps to set students on a path to not only just think about graduating, but what can you do with your life after graduation? That should include a technical school, becoming an apprentice, or becoming an engineer going to college.
Sure. What are you looking forward to today?
I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to seeing the cooperation of these robots, and I'm looking to see these teams get that memory muscle back and going and really working with one another and competing.
All right, thanks for your time, Brett. Back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. As we move into our third of 4 semifinals, we could get another bonus semifinal if we have a Red Alliance or Blue Alliance win. And here's the way things are shaking down now. We mentioned that the Red Alliance is the one in the driver's seat right now, but St. Joseph, Suttons Bay, and Coloma are trying to up their game just a bit.
Yeah, again, first match, 74 for our number 1 seed. Only 59 points for Blue, our number 4 alliance. So they've got to find a way to get another 15 points out of this somehow. 29-59, look for them again on defense. They can make a bigger difference. They were doing a decent job slowing down 27-67, but at some point in that match, it felt like 27-67 just got free and was able to get those points. And then that end game. Our Blue Alliance needs to get the end game. 36-20, went early to hang, still did not make it up to the traversal bar, right? They went over there with 45 seconds left. They have to get the 15 points if they're going that early.
So the margin of victory shrinking here in the semifinals. We're going to see if this Red Alliance can make that final push and get into the championship match. And the energy is rising here at St. Joseph's High School.
So great shot there of the robots, how they're lining up. The teams can choose how they want to arrange their robots as long as you start inside those taped off areas of your color. And so choosing to start 2 robots side by side, here's the Red Alliance, and those 2 robots are both going to be moving, trying to pick up an extra ball and take extra shots. So keep an eye on those 2 robots, 2767 and 4003. On Blue, it's kind of the same story. You can see 3620, line right up. They're going to back straight up for that extra ball. 3688 is going to do the same thing, and 2959 is going to drift back for the 1 ball behind them. Last match, we saw 2959 grab that ball, but could not move it through their robot to the shooter. That's something that has to work better for them in this match.
So each robot starts with a ball already loaded.
Yeah, 1 single ball. So if they want to shoot more, they've got to pick them up off the floor.
So the cargo going into the hub, and we'll see what happens here in our autonomous session, which will run just 15 seconds. And away we go. Red Alliance stepping back. That's the Trisonics.
So we're looking, so far, Red's missing more than Blue.
Yeah, Blue Alliance got some balls in that upper
and last second shot. If that gets through, it's still going to count for the bonus points. And I think it went through in time, so 26-14 lead for Blue.
And we got some defense going on here. We got 1 Blue Alliance robot. That's the Robotarians.
Yep, forced a miss there with that hit.
Working on not 1, but 2 Red Alliance robots.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. Robotarian's smart defensive robot. You have to be careful, though. If you get into the situation where you're chasing the next shooter, you leave the current shooter alone.
Right. Just like in real basketball.
Yep.
Strike force. A couple of upper hub makes as they are unloading cargo as quickly as they can secure it and control it.
Average Joe's doing well to get free for some shots, and the defense on them is pretty stifling as well. 34-52, the Greengineers are kind of just chasing them all across the field.
The cargo is scattered everywhere.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the balls we're looking at on the screen, that's the far side of the field for the red robots. So it's hard for them to see it. A great move by the Greengineers to bump two of them back across the field so Strike Force and the Trisonics can pick them up and shoot them.
Score stays very close. Most of the shots with the cargo all going to the upper hub.
Yep, another good shot from Average Joe's.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are shooting with equal consistency, and the scoreboard reflects it.
29-59 not moving. 29-59 is not moving. That's the big defensive bruiser. And again, that's Red creeping ahead now with a 5-point lead, and probably because that robot is not there to play defense.
Yeah, that's Robotarians who is idling there. And now one robot ready to hang for the Blue Alliance. That's the Average Joe's trying to get a handle on one of the rungs, and looks like it's going to go for the high rung. Boy, look at this move for the red rung.
That is not good. That is not good, but they're able to reset.
Yeah, that's 34-52. That's the Greengineers.
It's really a smart way to climb by the Greengineers, because if they don't set that second hook, they don't have to let go of the first hook.
What a great look to see both of these teams trying to get into the hanger zone.
So we have problems on both sides. 27-67, 0 hanging points. They've been getting 15. 34-52, only on that high bar for 10. They've been getting 15, but 29-59 not working for a good portion at the end of that match is probably too much to overcome.
Let's go back to the top of this and see how it plays out.
Yep. It's all blue here. It's all blue. Red makes a few shots, but blue makes more, including this last second shot from 36-20. And this is what was missing at the end of the match. Look at 29-59. Hitting 4,003. Very, very smart. See how they don't hit 27-67 there? 27-67 is basically in the protected zone.
Then he just stops
and then
there.
They're done.
Here's the faulty climb.
Yep. So that hook has to hit, but you can see what's happening is the robot is twisting instead of going straight up. And I don't know if there's a balance problem or if a piece is broken. But smart design by 34-52, because they never let go of the bar they're holding on to until they have a good grip on the next bar. So at least the robot doesn't fall off completely.
Yeah. I'm not a technical guy, Dan, but I'm pretty sure you don't want the robot to hang and then fall.
Yeah, we teach that day one.
So we are trying to tally the final points here. And our third of 4 semifinals. And we may have a blue penalty that may come into play as well. So we'll roll into the scoreboard in just a moment as soon as that graphic is ready. But here it comes. And the Red Alliance benefiting from 8 penalty points, but still a win over the Blue Alliance.
Yep, the 8 penalty points did not affect the outcome of the match. You always like to see that. You don't want to win based on penalties. Cargo, again, neck and neck, but losing that defensive robot, and a good defensive robot in 29-59, let Red have a late game surge in those cargo points, and then we knew Red had the advantage in hangers, both sides having hanging problems, but Red still taking 10 extra points there. And that will send Red, our number 1 alliance,
into the championship match. And really, reflection on the blue penalty. What was that penalty for?
That blue penalty, I think, was for you're not allowed to hit inside another robot. And I think they had a piece that was reaching out. So when they made contact with another robot, that was hitting inside what we call the frame perimeter, the outside of the robot. And that's going to be a 4-point penalty. So that means I think they got 2 of those.
Down in the pits we go as we reconnect with Kaylee.
Hey guys, I got a team member here from Greengineers. Nick, tell me how important that win was.
It was an incredible win because that just puts us one step closer to being able to place in the finals and get that blue banner at the end of the day.
Is there anything from this match that you think you want to improve on in the future?
Our climbing skills still, we're still a little finicky on the actual controlling of the climber, so trying to get up there is a hassle sometimes.
What's going to be the fix to that? What's your mentality?
Practice. Practice makes perfect.
That is correct. What are you looking forward to in the next match?
Getting to play again and having fun.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Nick. Back to you.
Haley, thank you with good insight down from the pits there. We've talked a lot, Dan, about the interpersonal connection, the kind of the personal stories that play out here as everybody's involved in robotics in all kinds of different ways. Well, the stories from Ukraine are certainly very sobering and meaningful. And we have a connection that we'll make right now with Kaylee, an earlier interview she did today with a Ukraine connection to this event today.
Hey everyone, we're here with a student from team 2054. Can you tell us your name?
My name is Evgenia, but my friends call me Jane.
All right, Jane, I understand you're from Ukraine, is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about coming over here.
Coming to other country, it's an experience. It's an experience for your whole life where you never forget. It's new friends, new family, something go new in your life. Your change.
Yeah, it's a lot of change, especially right now. I understand with the conflict that's going on right now in Ukraine and Russia. Is your family in Ukraine right now?
My part of my family right now currently in Ukraine, and my parents, they travel across Europe to get to Ukraine some help. It's maybe some medicines and clothes and other stuff. Currently they cross Poland board.
Sure. Okay. Have you been able to talk to your family at all over there?
Yes, I talked with my parents, but my sister, I cannot contact her last week at all. But
yeah, do you kind of get that reassurance that when you do get to talk to your family, I'm sure you're worried.
I'm worried, but they always in positive ways. They're really we got that, we will be fine, we are good, we are win that, we'll get that through, no worries. So they're just in a really positive way.
Yeah, that's great. So I understand that your team actually gave you quite a bit of a surprise.
I appreciate all what my team did. It's support. It's great pins. I like them so much. It's a robot. It's a great support, mental support. They ask me how I am. All my friends from the team and my teammates, they're just great.
Yeah. So they surprised you. They changed the robot colors to the Ukrainian flag colors. Tell me what your reaction was, because I understand you didn't know that this was going to happen. Tell me what you thought about that.
I can't even get the words to describe it. I was just shocked. Then appreciations and people, they're really kind. And I cannot even explain how is that. It just, you got to the practice, you open the doors, and you look at the robot, then you look at the pins, and I'm I can describe. It's just, it's great.
What does that kind of support mean from teammates?
It just, you feel mentally better, even something going on with family or with your friends, but you at least know that they support you. My host family support me, my team support me, and it's really early, you feel better. You can feel like a person, even you have some worries.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the buttons that you made. I understand that you made some buttons for your team. Can you tell me about that?
So we have informal greeting in Ukraine, which is Ukrainian thing, and we say Slava Ukraini, which is glory to Ukraine, and answer Slava Heroyam, which is glory to heroes. It's appreciation of our independence and our country and heroes who support us all our independence. So it's yes.
I like them. I think you did a good job on it. What would be your message to your teammates after all this?
I mean, I just want them to get something from their support, like pay them back somehow. I cannot even find the words to thank them, because what they did is just a lot for me, and
it's a lot of good support. I'm glad you have that, and I'm glad you're able to speak to your family and everything's going well for you. But I appreciate your time and good luck today. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Kaylee, thank you. Good stuff. And it's nice to see how robotics really connects people in so many different ways that are unexpected. Here's our showdown now with the Red Alliance, number 2, Blue Alliance, number 3.
Devin, keep an eye on 2054. That is her team, painted down there on the field in the blue and yellow. They were able to help their number 3 seeded alliance to a 46-35 upset victory. Our first lower seed winning a match in the first round of the semifinals.
So they rev up the crowd here a little bit more here at St. Joseph High School. This is the first in Michigan District St. Joseph event. So as we continue to move forward into mid-April, do the events get exponentially bigger from weekend to weekend? Or?
They're all about 40 teams until you get to the state championship. That's when it really ramps up.
And what are they working on here?
That is a drive pod. So I believe this robot has something called swerve drive where it can move sideways. They're replacing an entire motor unit for the drivetrain on their robot.
And away we go with the autonomous period underway. Blue Alliance going up for that upper hub with their cargo.
And crucially, less bounced out this time.
Yeah.
Last time they had bounce out problems that kept the score close. This time, they've got a sizable lead here.
So the Blue Alliance off to a good start here. See if the Red Alliance tries to stay on that low hub. Looks like that's where they're going.
Yep, some decent defense being played. 1940 looks like they've got their robot back in gear, and a good late hit on our Tech Vikes robot caused it to miss the first shot, but they came back with a second, and then a flurry of blue scores up high, and they're starting to crack this one open.
Oh boy, they've doubled it up right now. Still lots of time for the Red Alliance to catch up though, but they got to get some shots in. A couple of low hub makes for the Megahertz Robotics from the Red Alliance.
We'll see if they can get another salvo of those high goal shots off. Bounce out there.
And also for the Red Alliance, Bionic Bison. A couple of low hub makes for them. They are really working that lower hub and making some noise, trying to cut that deficit.
Closing it a little bit. Looks like all the blue robots are loaded. Oh, that hit!
Wow.
43. That was 43-25 coming in late. Perfectly timed, making 2054 shot go short.
But Blue Alliance follows up with a couple of upper hub makes with their cargo inside 50 seconds. Now one robot moving into the hangar.
That is 2054. They're going to go all the way for that traversal bar here.
That's Tech Vikes. And Red Alliance has not made a move into their hangar zone yet.
Nope, they're going to have to try to score a few more points here. I think they're outgunned on the hangs, so they need to close this point gap up a little bit.
Robo Rangers trying to get up, followed by Tech Tigers for the Red Alliance. Blue Alliance has 2 robots.
Yep, 2054 is not proceeding up. They got the first bar. They've not been able to move up at all. That is 15 points they're not going to get. Meanwhile, 43-25 is on that highest bar for 15 points. Reds.
Ooh, only 1 bar, only 1 claw, though.
Down, they're down.
Yeah.
I think it's 6 points for blue. That looks to me like 6-12. That's going to be 27 for red.
So the Robo Rangers red robot that we see hanging with just 1 claw.
Yep.
So 1 claw doesn't count?
One claw counts.
One claw counts.
They got the other claw, their other arm, they got it released from the previous bar, so they're only supported on that highest bar there, that traversal bar.
Okay.
And even if it's ugly, even if they don't have all of the points of contact that they normally have, as long as their support is only coming from that bar, they're going to get it. And this might be a comeback win here for our number 2 seed.
So hanging is hanging. There's no style points.
No style points.
Right. Okay. Here's how it starts.
All right, blue coming out a little bit better here. We know red very consistent in that low goal. Blue had some bounce out problems last match. They got a few extra shots to stick here, which set them up well for Teleop. That hit, that was the one I called out.
That
hit
was the
so
major
perfectly
pop,
timed.
yeah.
Yeah, if you hit it right when they're about to release the ball, there's nothing you can do. You're just going to miss that shot. And then, 2054 recovered. They made a few more shots. Still some battling going on. That red hang, though, 43-25, that might be the game-winning hang when they got up on that high bar, and they're only touching that highest bar, that traversal bar. And the two other robots, 1940, also coming in for that mid-level hang. And it is enough.
Well, the late comeback, and it's the hanger that makes the difference in a huge, huge way. We're tallying up the points, but we'll build it into that graphic and get it to you in just a moment. There it is. Cargo Blue Alliance, hanger all red alliance for the win.
Yeah, and we counted up those 27 points. Those all stuck. We thought blue had a robot hanging, but I think that robot was actually contacting another robot on its alliance, which negates the hang. Again, you can only be supported by the bar you're hanging from. They lost, I think, 6 points for that. So again, didn't change the outcome of the match, but it would have been a little bit closer.
Let's head down and check in with Kaylee.
Hey guys, I'm here with Reese from the Red Alliance. And first of all, this man is a celebrity down here. Can you show me some of your dance moves? I've been sitting here watching him dance this entire time, and it's very entertaining. First of all, just tell me how excited you are to be back after 2 years.
I mean, obviously with the off year, everybody here is really excited to be back. Our team especially, we kept a lot of our 2019 sponsors, which we're really proud of, and we're just really excited. Even if we don't win today, we're really just excited to be back in first.
What's the mentality you guys have kept throughout the entire day?
Have fun. I mean, really, this isn't really about competition this year. We just want to get back out there and have fun, which we've been doing for the most part. With all the dancing and all this, the team spirit we've had, it's been really enjoyable.
What do you think has been the key to winning?
For us personally, it's been a lot about our climbing. We have a pretty consistent highest bar climb, which we've really been tweaking down to get as fast as possible. And I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure we have the fastest climb here today, right now.
All right, sounds good. Congratulations, Reese, and keep dancing out here. All right, send it back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. He's got the moves, busting them out.
Yep.
And we are working our way through our semifinals. What's next?
Yeah, so we're going to have a bit of a delay here. This is a field timeout. What happens is our number 1 seed Alliance already won, already moved into the finals. We're trying to find who's going to come from the other side of the bracket. Because they're now 1-1, and we have to have that third match, we're going to have a 5-minute timeout for the robots to, a 6-minute timeout, sorry, for the robots to change their batteries, get reset to their starting positions, and just do a once-over. Tighten up the bolts that might be getting loose, whatever you have to do to fix your robot up.
So the Alliance that's kind of cooling their jets right now, they're in full scouting mode.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And what does full scouting mode entail?
So they're watching the really low scores that have been coming through in the semifinals. So first match was 35-46. Second match was 60-43. Our number 1 Alliance has never scored less than that. They've never scored less than 72 points. 72 points is their low. So they're looking at this and thinking, man, we can definitely blow them out of the water scoring-wise. But what they have to be taking into account is there's a lot more defense being played on this side of the bracket. And is that defense going to cause a problem?
We'll take a timeout here at St. Joseph's High School and come back with our Michigan First Robotics competition. The St. Joseph event continues in a moment.
How do you change the way the world moves? Change course. Aptiv is engineering the brain and the nervous system to bring the future of mobility to life. with advanced computing platforms and smart vehicle architecture, taking you from point A to point B and every point in between. We are Aptiv, and we're moving mobility forward.
At Consumers Energy, we believe change is imagining. Change is big, small, clean. Him, them, us, you. Together, we can bring clean energy to Michigan and protect the environment for generations to come. Learn about your clean energy choices and how you can become a force of change. consumersenergy.com/change.
DTE believes leaders are defined by doing what's right, not what's easy. So we are tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years and using cleaner natural gas. Working even harder to create a future where producing affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. DTE.
I'm here with Joe Barron, who's actually working the event, but I wanted to show you guys how cool is his mask. Joe, where did you get that?
I actually ordered it on Alibaba about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, so right when the pandemic started.
Yeah, I figured if I wanted a mask, I wanted a fun one to wear, otherwise I probably wouldn't wear one, so.
So you've been cool for 2 years.
Yes, and it's been really fun. It lasts about 5 hours, and I charge it with a cell phone charger, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So what does it say?
Today it just says robots, but I can change it on my phone. You can put videos on it. It doesn't have a speaker, but it will play videos to music from your phone, and it does animations, and you can play Mario on it. It does a lot of cool things.
What's one of the coolest things you've done with it?
I'm trying to think. I know. I ordered dinner with it. I wrote my order on it, and the waiter read my order off of my mask.
I don't even know what to say to
with it. Yeah, that's the coolest thing I've done with it.
What did you order?
Chicken wings, French fries, Coke.
I think that is hilarious. I give you props for that. Very cool. Well, yeah, I love your mask and great job. Thank you so much. All right.
Kaylee, good find. Interesting.
Guys,
that
living in the
is
future.
something unusual.
But it's good to know in the future you still get chicken wings and French fries.
Yes, right. Who needs to hear people talking all the time when you can just write it on your mask?
Makes sense to me.
I think I know what Kaylee's going to get me for my birthday in a few weeks. Both of us. I don't know how much those cost retail, but that might be worth a look. So we are cooling our jets a little bit, waiting for the robots to resurface here.
Yeah, and I went back through. I was looking for some of the climbs. I think that last match, right, the climbing was the problem for the Tech Vikes. Did not get that traversal climb. You know, they've done it in their qualification matches. I think they did it well over half the time. Their last 5 matches, they hit that traversal climb 4 out of 5 times. We've seen them in the elimination rounds, about 50% though. So that's something that hopefully they're working on right now. If they had gotten those points last match.
Here's a question. How difficult or challenging is it for these teams to recreate the game field when they're practicing?
Some of the pieces are very, very difficult. The goal in the middle of this field, for example, how do you make that, right?
You don't.
So you can buy it if you have enough money. There's a sort of a cheaper version that a company is putting out. And then they release plans for a low-cost at-home version. Usually it's out of wood. Some years it's a good approximation, and you can really, really learn a lot from it. Some years it's not so much, and you get hit with some surprises. And those hanging bars, that is hard. One of the big problems with those bars is the distance between them is so important to the mechanisms that climb them. If you build it out of wood or you build it out of bars that are not as strong, and things bend just a little bit more than the real field, all of your measurements, all of your designs are going to be off by just that little bit. So successfully climbing teams probably put a lot of money into that section of the field, so they had a really, really good, really, really accurate place to practice.
So our semifinal tiebreaker means that the winner of this match is moving into the finals. Red Alliance, Bionic Bison, Robo Rangers, and Tech Tigers do battle against the Tech Vikes, Team Lancebot, and Megahertz Robotics.
Yes. And we'll see. I mean, this is really anybody's match. We thought that it was trending in favor of the number 3 Alliance in blue, but that late climbing upset, getting that traversal bar, having some misses on the blue side, completely reversed the outcome of that match.
Also, we talk about the challenges of recreating practice. Well, when you're practicing with your robot in a pseudo makeshift game field, how many robots are you going to have? Or like, how do you
Yep. Yeah, so that's one of the big things is the quality of your practice. Practicing is obviously very important, just like any sport. And the quality of your practice can have a pretty big impact on it as well. So some teams will have access to full practice fields. My team, when we practice, we used to take out a previous year's robot and use that robot to play defense so that our drivers were used to getting hit, used to being in those scrums. And you see that a lot. There are sometimes community fields where groups of teams will come together and practice together, and that's really helpful as well, because you really get a better feel for how the match is going to flow, where robots are going to end up, where the choke points are, where to avoid.
Yeah, it's not much effective practicing if you don't have someone to practice against.
Yeah, and we'll see this sometimes where a robot will come out for a practice match where there's no other robots on the field and look amazing, but as soon as there's traffic, as soon as there's defense, those numbers start to come down. I think we look like we're green on the field, so we should be ready to go any second.
Autonomous for 15 seconds, and then the teleop period is for the remaining 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yep.
Not an auspicious start for the Red Alliance. They're trailing by 8 after autonomous period ends.
Definitely could have been worse. Blue took a lot more shots, had some bounce out, had some misses. But 8 point is a solid lead.
We'll see who's going on defense here. Not the 55-35 Bionic Bison. They'll go low hub.
Yep, there's 1940 again, our defensive robot. Looks like they're going to be chasing around the Tech Vikes.
And 2 more low hub makes for the Red Alliance. Again, the winner is in the championship.
Yeah, and this is just really interesting to watch because Red Alliance is just going faster. They're going faster, they're not missing, and so their 1-point goals are keeping up with the 2-point goals from the Blue Alliance. In fact, they've taken the lead.
Yeah, the quicker pace is helping them with the lower shots.
Yep, so fast cycle time and high accuracy. And, we need to see some made shots from Blue. That one goes short from the Tech Vikes. It does go into the low goal.
Yeah, you can't be too happy if you're sizing up a shot that's supposed to go upper hub and ends up lower hub, right?
I mean, I guess it's better than a miss, but still. And Red, on the power of those 1-point goals, has stretched out to a 7-point lead.
Still lots of time left, though. And we are now under a minute. We'll see if someone moves into the hangar zone. We got one blue robot moving into position. That's Tech Vikes. Red not ready to go hangar zone yet.
So we'll see. Tech Vikes came up short in the last match. They need to get this traversal climb.
Robo Rangers looking to hang for the Red Alliance. And 2054, man, Tech Vikes doesn't waste any time getting sky high.
And they got it. Those hooks are set. Now, we got to watch on Red. 43-25 needs to get the traversal climb to match them.
And Tech Tigers right behind them. Boy, Blue Alliance might make a big splash here in the hangar zone.
43-25 is up for that high traversal bar points.
1940 struggling, though.
Yeah, it does not look like they're going to be moving. And blue does get 2 more robots up. So those cancel out. That's a 4-point. It's going to be an 8-point swing. Honestly, I think it might be a tie. It's very close.
Oh, you just want to stay here, don't you?
Yeah,
you don't want to get out of here. Have we had a tie before? I don't remember a tie.
There have been ties.
There
Actually,
have?
when I was playing, we ended up going to 5 or 6 matches because we tied several of them.
Oh, jinx.
All right, there's the auto mode again. Blue
Alliance.
Lots of shots, but Blue needs to make those shots.
Let's take a look at the replay first. Crowd is buzzing. They've just been tipped off on who is moving on.
Yep, and this is 1940, trying to get some defense, chasing some of the high-scoring robots around.
There's our score, and it's the hanger points for the Blue Alliance that take them over the top into the finals.
Yeah, and that's, 27-14. So what happened was we did not get the Red Alliance robot. We thought 43-25 was all the way up on that traversal bar. They did not get credit for a traversal hang. They must have been touching the second bar, that high bar. They only got 10 points for that, and that switch changes it from a tie at 53 apiece to 48-53, and we have our second finalist.
Here's the hangs that carry the Blue Alliance.
Yep, 20-54 going up, this time securing it. That's what they have to do. And then both of their partners coming up. Those are 6-point hangs on the lower bar, but they needed every last one of those hangs.
Wow. So interesting finale. And we are down to 2 teams as we have made our way. 31 teams came here originally. Now just 2 left standing.
Yep, so I guess a minor upset, right? The number 3 alliance advancing over our number 2 alliance. So we're going to have number 1 versus number 3 for our finals. And you can see they're down there. They're in a hurry to get that robot reset for finals. And I don't like what I see. That is a Tech Bikes student holding their front intake roller. That should be part of the robot. It is currently in a student's hands. They need to get that fixed, and they need to get that fixed fast. Looks like they're bringing an entire replacement mechanism. So we're going to get a good view here. A lot of teams will do this. You're allowed spare parts. So just like, NASCAR or F1, they're in the pit. They're going to pull this whole module off and bring a new one in if they think it's easier than fixing what's there.
Downstairs we go as we check in with Kaylee.
Hey Dan, I'm here with Jesse from the Blue Alliance. Jesse, tell me how you're feeling after that.
We're pretty ecstatic. This is our first win in a very long time to going into the finals.
What do you think was the biggest part of that win?
Biggest part of that win was definitely our traversal up onto that hanger. We got those points in the end and pulled ahead.
What do you think you could fix maybe for the finals?
We can definitely work on scoring cargo a lot more and getting our autonomous dialed in, especially with some of our other Alliance members, but we're doing really well right now.
All right, congrats and good luck. Thank you. Back to you.
Kaylee, thank you with all the great work she's done today, a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. And, we talk about the bridge between how personal some of the relationships and situations can be. Earlier, Kaylee talking with a gentleman named Nathan about his experience in Michigan First and how robotics is making a difference for him.
Hey guys, we're joined with Nathan from Team 2959. Nathan, tell me a little bit where you were before you got into robotics.
So before I got into robotics, I was getting in trouble nearly every week. It started to get to the point where I wasn't caring. Like there was days where I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I just sit there in class and just, I knew I was becoming a sophomore. I knew I was getting near the end of my high school career. And I knew if I didn't step up my game, I wouldn't be able to graduate with the rest of my class and walk. Overall, I was not in a good spot at all before I came into robotics.
So what made you want to get into robotics? Was it realizing that you weren't going to be able to walk with your class? Or tell me a little bit about that decision.
So when I was in robotics in middle school, and I loved every minute of it. They ended up not forming the team my third year. I was in there for 2 years, and the third year they ended up not forming. Waterville Elite and Coloma did not pair it again. And then COVID hit and kind of screwed everything up. But it was just, it all started with an email saying hello to my old mentor from my previous team. And I was not really expecting to get into robotics again. I saw they put out a flyer in high school, and I missed the deadline to try and sign up. So I'm like, I'll just try it next year. I kind of wanted to get it back in, but I never thought I'd be able to. 2 weeks later, I got an email from my old mentor that says, I talked with the mentor for the high school robotics team. He said, I have a few spots left, and he would love to have you in. And I never asked him for anything, never asked to get in the team. He said that out of the blue at 8 in the morning, 2 weeks later.
Wow.
So I signed up, and from that point on, my grades started being pulled up. I passed the first semester, and I am starting credit recovery in school, and I am building back up my credits. And right now, I am getting close to being on track with my class, to be able to walk. Before, I'll be completely honest, I had multiple Fs. I used to be a really good kid in school, and I hit that spot where it's like I would dig myself a hole. Like I would get so behind on schoolwork, I'd get overwhelmed, and I'd just say, you know what, I'm done. And I would just give up until the next semester, and I would be good for like a week or two, and it'd start falling behind. And that was my whole freshman year. But since I joined now, robotics gives me something to do, gives me something to look forward to, and I had to keep my grades up to stay on the team. I have so far I have pulled my grades up to all A's and B's within the source of 2 months.
Wow.
We went from multiple F's to, I think I've got 2 A's and the rest are B pluses. And
so what was it? What was it that made you put that effort in?
Mostly everyone's saying you can't be on the team until you get your grades up. That was a lot of it, and also it gave me something to look forward to. Like before, all I would look forward to is getting home and doing homework. This gives me something to look forward to. I get off school, I do homework, and I now have a very minimal amount of homework, 20 minutes of homework, and I'm done. When before it was all after school.
Yeah.
And it gives me something to look forward to when I'm out of school. And it's now one of those that I'm hammering through all the day, every hour in class, and I'm staying on track.
Well, good. We're cheering for you, and we're proud of you, and congratulations on doing this, and good luck today.
Thank you.
All right.
And I've gotten, can I say more?
Sure.
I have gotten multiple things that I would not be able to before. I have gotten requests to try and get into an apprenticeship at Eagle Technologies for CNC machining.
Wow.
And you don't have to be, like my story was, you don't have to be an all-A student to get in robotics. You can be really struggle busing, and they'll still accept you on the team.
I think that's a really important message for students. Thank you, Nathan.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Good luck today, and congrats with everything.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
Kaylee, thank you. Michigan First Robotics, helping people in ways that we never really think about too much.
Yeah, and I love that team's idea of taking everybody on the team. Some of the best students I ever had were not good in-classroom students.
But, having a sense of purpose, the community of team and challenge and objective really can, turn things around just like it did for Nathan there. So here we are, set for our first final. Red Alliance is Strike Force, Trisonics, and the Green Engineers. And then we finish it up with the Tech Fights team, Lancebot and Megahertz Robotics.
Yep. Getting set up right now. Everybody's aligning their robots up for autonomous mode.
We can go back through. Our number 1 seeds scored 87, 77, 74, and 72 points. They have not been below 70 points yet in this set of playoffs. Our number 3 alliance, 73, 52. Then they got a really low score in our semifinals with 46, 43, and 53. So we know that semifinal, those scores are depressed. They're lower than they would be because we know it was a very defensive battle. But what I'm seeing from this number 3 seeded alliance, which is going to be in the blue bumpers this time, is it's just very inconsistent. Sometimes they get the traversal hang, sometimes they don't get it. Sometimes their shot sticks, sometimes they bounce out. Now, they've had some margin for error before, but going up against the number 1 seed.
Got a special guest downstairs. Let's reconnect with Kaylee.
Hey guys, I'm here with Representative Upton. Fred, tell me how excited you are to be here.
You know, I'm here every year. This is a great regional. I mean, I know Dean Kamen, who started this. He actually came a few years ago. He's a rock star. But you know, if we want to compete with the rest of the world, we need more math and science. That's what this is, and it's a great game concept, and the excitement's there. Michigan actually has more teams than any other state, so all the way. We're going to go all the way to the national championship here. We'll see.
How good does it feel that something like this is in your area?
Well, this is actually in my hometown, but I'm so excited. You know, before COVID, I actually visited a school every week, and I would go to all the robotics teams. I'd see them working out. I'd see them with the games. I mean, it's just like, boom. Parents don't have to worry if their kids are involved in robotics.
That's true. That's true. How good does it feel to be back after 2 years?
It's about time. You know, we still have our masks, but it's about time. You can tell the excitement's here.
All right, thanks, Representative. We'll catch up with you later. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Yeah, a lot of big hitters coming in and out. And we are just about set now for the first of what could be 3 matches.
Could technically be more if we get ties, but...
Right, ooh, oh.
That's not likely.
That tie is a 4-letter word. In robotics, anyway. And they reintroduced the teams. All right, so let's strategize and game plan for this. What's going to happen?
Yeah, we got to watch blue in autonomous mode. They need their shots to stick. We've seen too many bounce out. They can't afford to have that happen here. Then during the match, we're going to see if blue sends a defensive robot against 4003 and 2767, which are just huge offensive threats.
Autonomous period underway. Everybody going for that upper hub with their cargo. Oh, and a red ball rolling in and out.
Blue.
But lots of points.
They all stayed in.
Yeah.
So 22 to 18,
okay.
blue takes the advantage here.
Blue had 1 roll out. Well, those balls bounced everywhere. Known as cargo. A lot of defense now.
50-56 playing that defense, but I think they just took a penalty. That was the protected zone.
Yeah, Trisonic's able to get some cargo into that upper hub. Get a little bit of separation here.
Something is up with 2054. They are moving, but barely. Their camera is aiming away from the center structure. That robot is not functional right now.
Dead in the water, and Red Alliance ready to make hay as a result. A lot of shots up into that upper cargo hub.
Yeah, so 2054 disconnected from the field. That means there was an issue with their radio or their robo-reel, but essentially the computer on the robot losing power probably. In fact, yeah, we can see some lights, so there's still power on the robot at large.
So now we'll see if the Blue Alliance goes to a more defensive strategy because they're going to lose points. Right now, it's not really mattering. Red Alliance is kind of picking away at this.
And 2054 is that traverse, the high bar climber for the Blue Alliance, so they're not going to be able to add those points at the end. If that robot doesn't come back, probably 30 seconds ago, this match is over.
Trisonics gobbling up some cargo, and they'll go upper hub and shoot too strong.
They have 2 red robots now looking to climb. And 2054 is moving again, but they do not look like they're moving normally. That red robot, though, underneath the zone there.
There's going to be a penalty flag
for
there.
sure.
Yeah.
That's going to be at least 1 free climb.
Red Alliance
maybe 2.
Yeah. Red Alliance is going to get some robots hanging. That's the Strike Force robot that's getting the most elevation, followed. And Blue Alliance trying to make a comeback through some points in the hanger zone.
Yep. So Strike Force is up. 34.52 is not going to get all the way up to the top bar. And we have to see what that penalty call was on the blue robots, or for the blue robots that were trying to climb. In the last 30 seconds of the match, that is endgame. And during endgame, you cannot defend inside that truss structure. Red had a robot essentially trapped inside there.
Here's how it started.
Yep, Blue, watch those shots. We've seen these bounce out. They come late. That one that missed was from the human player. That's okay. Blue shots are going to come in late here, but they all bounce in. If they can do that again, they can stay with the advantage after autonomous mode. Yep, and here's 2054. They were working, but at some point here, they just stopped moving. And it does look like the robot was moving a little gingerly before they completely lose power, so that might be related. But we do run into a point here where they just turn off. And there it is, right there. When that front roller went up, they lost connection to the field. So we see the hang going here.
Yeah.
27.67 gets up to that traverse bar. That's going to be 15 points. 34.52 can do the same, but they did not have enough time. So that's only 10 points for them. 4,003 grabbing a 6-pointer.
So losing a robot means the Red Alliance has got a wide open path to get that. Let's connect with Kaylee right now before we get to our scores. Let's go downstairs.
Hey guys, I'm here with Tori from Strike Force with the Red Alliance. Tell me how important this match was.
This is one of the first of the finals match, so it's pretty important. It's 2 out of 3 for these, and we won our first match. We're really excited. We want to win this next one. And keep it nice and simple. Just keep going. Keep talking to our partners.
We caught up with you a little earlier, right when the day started. Tell me where you think you've grown from just throughout the day.
We've definitely run into some problems. Earlier, we couldn't get the climb up because we didn't have very much time in the pit, so we learned that we need to use our time wisely while fixing in between matches. And we talked a little bit more with our partners because we were gotten their way a little bit, so we learned communication is even more important.
What do you think was the most important part of this win that you're going to take into the next one?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What do you think was the most important part of this win that you're going to take into the next final?
Definitely talking to our partners. I keep saying that, but it's the most important thing for me. We did get in their way earlier, like I said, and this time we did change that, and we talked to them during the match and before, so that's the most important.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Tori. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to you guys.
Kaylee, thank you. Great job this afternoon as we will tally up the scores here and our final match, our first final match. Not as competitive as we thought, but
not as competitive.
One dead robot is all it takes.
And not only a dead robot, but that was probably the strongest offensive robot on that alliance, right? They rely on them for the 15-point climb at the end, and they make a lot of shots in the high goal. So, yeah, it's pretty hard to overcome that.
It's the one you can't lose, is your big scorer.
Yep. And I don't think it was related, but we did watch that team with that roller, right? Not attached to the robot, that front intake not attached to the robot. And it's possible that they had to spend so much of their time and effort getting that fixed that they missed something else.
Something else, right. And obviously pressure now to figure out, hey, we got to get that fixed. 89-41. A 40-plus point win for the Red Alliance.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Yeah, no, I mean, the cargo was close. Blue was actually slightly ahead when the tech bikes went down. You expect them to run up the score at that point. Same thing with hanging. They did not have, the tech bikes to get that extra 15 points. They did, I believe, draw a penalty there. So the 15 points for hanging there was an upgraded hang. If you're illegally defended at the end of the game, the way we thought we saw, they give you basically credit for the highest possible hang. So I think it was a 6-point hang on the field, but because of the penalty, it got upgraded to a 15-point hang.
So what are you doing now, strategy-wise, if you're in the pits trying to figure out how we can put it together and revamp?
Yeah, so the tech bikes, 2054, they've got to fix their robot. You can see that is the primary focus here. We got mentors, we got students, we got the field tech over there trying to figure out what went wrong. The other teams need to be coming together and saying, okay, look, we lost a robot, so this score is not indicative of what we're capable of putting out. But that said, did we see any weaknesses in the way the number 1 seed played? Are there things that we can take advantage of? And I think the biggest thing that they can do to change this is their defensive robot that they've been sending over, 5056, needs to be looking for the spots on the field that both Strikeforce and 4003, the Allendale team, want to be in when they shoot. And they need to cover those spaces. So we've seen teams chase both of those scorers around the field, and if you're chasing one, the other one's free to score. They have a few spots they like to shoot, and if you stay in and do more of a zone defense than a man defense, you might be able to pick them up as they're coming into that zone and slow them down. But you know, that's a tall task. These are probably the 2 best shooting robots at the competition, and you've got to shut them down 1-on-2.
I love it when Dan Kimura brings in his first basketball analogy of the year. Well done.
I do watch a lot of basketball,
yes.
And I know you have
well, it is March
announcing
Madness, so yeah,
as well,
right.
So.
Right, it is March Madness pretty soon, and this is Michigan March Robotics Madness.
It is, yep.
Yeah.
I think this game, too, it's very similar to basketball, I guess, until you climb at the end. There's no, hanging on the backboard at the end of a basketball game for bonus points.
No, that would be a technical. Now, what's that device that's being worked on right there that we can see on camera?
It's a little bit hard to tell what they're looking at. Looks like that is the front intake again on this robot. But we also have some just random checking of things, I think. This looks like, if I had to guess, that's the hanger. Kind of hard to see from this area, but you see those 2 big sprockets at the top of the robot with chains, so just kind of like a bicycle there. That drives the arms that they use to hook onto stuff. And we can see, yeah, they're kind of poking at the chain and the guards and some of the guides.
So I think they've taken a full timeout to correct this, which is allowed.
Yep, correct. In the final matches, again, because you're going to go back-to-back, we always have a timeout. We've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in that timeout. At that point, the robots will need to be on the field, or if you're too late, you could get, disqualified for the match.
Yeah, it's all hands on deck here.
Oh, boy. So we got some wires causing a problem, too?
Yeah.
See, which robot is this one?
We're almost to ground zero.
4237, okay. We didn't see any issues from them, but...
It's Team Lancebot.
Definitely fixing a whole connector here. I wonder what that connector is for. It looks like it runs up from their intake. They don't look like the power leads. Those look more like sensors. So maybe they have a sensor that broke, and they were able to sort of use their robot in manual mode. It's possible then that fixing this is going to improve the performance that we see from this robot. It does look a little twisted there too. I'm not sure.
Let's take a look at the brackets. And in case you are coming in late, we started with 31 teams, whittled that down to 8, and now we are moving into what may be our last match of the day. Blue Alliance trying to get things in order mechanically.
Yep, and just looking at the bracket, right? I mean, first round, quarterfinals, higher seed wins every time. So nothing surprising there. Semifinals, our number 1 seed, that is our favorite, highest seeded alliance. A relatively easy win. I mean, they made it tough. Our number 4 alliance made it tough, but number 1 into the finals. We had a small upset, number 3 seeded alliance beating our number 2 seeded alliance. That was our fun semifinal match where we saw low goal, which is worth 1 point, pitted against high goal, which is 2 points. Another basketball analogy for you is, right, like sometimes in basketball, right, volume shooting can be good and it can be bad.
Right.
Because if you're missing a lot, the other team gets the ball. In robotics, volume shooting is fine. Shoot all you want. It's really just about how fast you can shoot at that point.
That's true. Well said. And as we take a look and see the alliances trying to position themselves. And then explain the process, Dan, of how the schools and teams will work towards getting to Saginaw Valley State in April.
Yep, so we have, I believe, 6 weeks of district competition. So this is week 2 of our district events. I think we have 4 events going on this week. And when you play at a district event, essentially you get points. It's sort of a Grand Prix style system. If you win the event, you get points. If you finish second, you get less points, but you still get points. You know, all the way down, you get points for just winning matches while you're here. There's some awards that will give you points, predominantly winning the event or finishing second, third, fourth. Those are going to give you the most points. After the 6 weeks of districts, we total all those points up. And the highest, it's about 200 teams. I'd have to double check the specific number for this year. Teams will qualify for the state championship at Saginaw Valley State.
So it's a long process, but and the season really starts way back in January.
Yep. So first weekend in January, we call it kickoff, but that's when everybody tunes into a webcast and find out what the game is this year. So none of these teams even knew what this field looked like, what their robot had to do until that kickoff day. And on that day, you had a whole unveil. They had a game animation, showed you the different parts of the field, and then it was get to work. Start reading the rules, understand all the nuances of the game, and then start building your robot.
Downstairs, we go to Kaylee with some thoughts. Kaylee?
Hey, Dan, yeah, people are kind of just anxiously waiting to see what happens right now. As you can hear, though, they're starting to chant. They've been chanting back and forth. Red Alliance, Blue Alliance, some friendly competition happening here. But yeah, people are just kind of waiting to see what happens. I'll tell you what, though, it has been electric in here all day. People getting up and dancing and cheering. People cheer for each other. There's a lot of teamwork, a lot of camaraderie here. So they're going to try to keep that energy up, though, going into the finals. But right now, we're just going to wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, Kaylee, thank you. Yeah, good sportsmanship has always been kind of a cornerstone of what Michigan First Robotics is all about. I don't know if there's a handshake line in robotics, but...
I think we discontinued that when there were germ concerns, but there used to be a handshake line.
Right, well, real basketball has some challenges with handshake lines lately, but hopefully that's not going to happen here.
No, and just what you was talking about, teams here want to compete. They're going to give everything they have on the field, but I've seen it numerous times. When you come off the field, if your robot's broken and your opponent has the part you need, they will almost guaranteed give you that part.
Yeah, one of the nice benefits of this competition is how well everyone works together.
We are lining up on the field, so maybe the handshake is back. I'm not sure.
The handshake's been happening before. So
you gotta
make sure we can do it the right way. I don't know if there's I don't know if coaches need to start working with their teams on how to execute the handshake line, but
we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna
see how it goes in a minute.
I know. Hopefully they haven't learned any bad habits from college basketball coaches or players.
They've been too busy building robots.
Yes. So we'll get a big revved up crowd here, fired up for what may be the last match of the day.
In lieu of the handshake, we're the one who walks for each other. So let's make some noise for Team 4003.
Sounds like in lieu of a handshake, there will be applause.
Sonics. Team 2767.
Strike Force.
Team 3452.
The Green Engineers.
Blue Alliance, Team 4237.
Team Lancebot.
Team 2054.
The Tech Bikes.
Team 5056.
Megahertz Robotics.
One more round of applause for both of the Alliance's drivers. To your stations, please.
So coming into this match, red pretty much has been consistent throughout all of the elimination rounds. Our questions are on blue. So we want to watch 4237. They were working on some wiring on the front of that robot. We want to see if that robot comes out strong, gets their shots off in autonomous mode. And of course, we need to be watching the Tech Bikes 2054 to see if they have fixed their problem. They died for
probably a minute and a half of the last match. They barely got to play in that last match, so we need to see them stay connected, stay working to keep this a close match.
Red Alliance with Trisonics, Strikeforce, and the Green Engineers. They are in the driver's seat right now with Hopkins, Lakeshore, and Buchanan trying to re-engineer, literally, their robot.
Yep. And the spot looks like everybody's connected, and we are just about ready to go.
Autonomous period is happening now, and Red Alliance getting the first shots off. Balls flying into that upper hub.
Crucially, 42-37 did not pick up the second ball. You can see it. It's sitting there right by their bumper. They tried, and the intake didn't work. So we need to see now if that was just unlucky in autonomous mode or if it's a problem. It's not rolling. I think the front roller is not connected, so they're going to swing over and try to play defense. Oh no, they're still giving it a try. At some point, they're going to have to give up and go play defense, but this is a blow for blue.
Well, a hard push over there on that far side from Strikeforce. A little more defense. Now we're getting some shots into that upper hub.
Yeah, but I think we know now 42-37's robot is broken. They are playing defense.
Right.
We'll see if they can be effective.
So they will be a non-factor offensively. Will the Red Alliance exploit that? Couple of balls going, a couple of cargo balls going into the upper hub for the Blue Alliance. It's close, which is much better than where it was at this time in the last match.
The Tech Bike's still shooting, a little bit short on that one, but their robot is functional, and that is key.
A lot more defense going on here. Boy, that 27-57 Strikeforce is a powerhouse out there.
They're happy to hit whatever is in their way.
Right, exactly.
4003 got free. Both of the shots stuck. And again, Tech Bikes is short.
Red Alliance gets a couple into that upper cargo hub. Still close. Just a couple of 3 points lead for the Red Alliance.
Another shot short by the Tech Bikes. They go 1 of 2.
Now the Red Alliance lands back-to-back shots into that upper hub.
Yep, 42-37's defense has been immaculate. They've been taking 27-67.
He lifted Strikeforce off the ground.
Yep. And you got to be careful. If you lift somebody up, you got to back off a little bit, because if you flip them, that's a penalty on you.
You can't tip them. All right, we got a robot heading up in the hangar zone.
Yep, 1 on each side. We need Tech Bikes for blue to make it up. Meanwhile, Strikeforce is going to try to, they're going to try to answer on the other side.
This is low scoring, but it's going to be close, and there's a great hang for the Blue Alliance.
Strikeforce is not moving up to the next tier. There might be a problem. But can 34-52 make up for it?
Looks like they did. That's Green Engineers. Oh my, what a finish. The hangar zone. Good showings by both of them.
So they're over there, they're checking. The refs are checking to see if that Strikeforce robot is up or not. We also have, for more drama, we have FTAs checking to see, I think some connections were lost at the very end of that match. We had FTAs over with the Red Alliance this time checking on their robots. Meanwhile, Blue, a perfect endgame.
And here's the ball feed initially to...
And that's in autonomous mode.
Yeah, that's for Trisonics.
Yep, so the human player feeding them an extra one, and then they made both on that.
But not shooting after that.
And here's where 42-37, right, they broke, but they're a very good robot, and good robots often have good drivetrains. So when they switched to defense, it was very effective. They slowed 4003 down a bit, but really, when they got on 27-67, they really shut them down.
All right, well, you heard the crowd explode, and we'll give you the spoiler alert. Blue Alliance wins. How close is it?
It's as close, almost as close as it can be.
Yeah, we have a red penalty, and that's enough to swing it for the Blue Alliance.
Yeah, so that penalty, I believe, again, was for an incursion inside the frame perimeter. Again, when you're defending, you got to keep it on the outside of the robot. If you reach in, that's where the valuable, the electronics and stuff are. You don't want to win a match by breaking somebody, so that is a penalty. It's a 4-point penalty, and that decides the match. Also, though, that hanging at the end, Strikeforce needed to get up to the traversal climb. That would have been enough to swing the match back in their favor, but they got stuck on the high bar. They weren't able to go farther. And same thing with their partner, 3452 Berrien Springs. They were also stuck on just the high bar, not making the traverse.
Let's go down in the pits and rejoin Kaylee Marintet.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm here joined by a teammate for the Blue Alliance. Tell me how you're feeling right now.
Oh my God, it's insane. We're so happy. My voice is just gone from cheering so loud. We're so excited. We can't even sit down from this match.
Tell me what was going through your mind there.
Just get the climb, get it going. You guys can do it. We believe in you, and go Blue Alliance.
What are you going to take from this into the next?
I'm hoping that our driver and shooter are just going to keep working together, keep getting it, keep hitting those marks, and that our entire alliance just gets that climb and gets those points that we need.
Obviously, this is going to be a little stressful. How are you going to handle that?
Cheering as loud as I can and keeping everyone's spirits pumped.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. Good luck. Send it back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thanks. Well, we're going to go the distance and get a third championship match. Long break, though, with teams getting a chance to, well, what do you do differently? I don't know. Looks like Blue Alliance is back in good shape. We'll break and then preview what may be the final match of the day here at St. Joseph High School as we continue with First in Michigan Robotics.
DTE believes leaders are defined by doing what's right, not what's easy. So we're tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years and using cleaner natural gas. Working even harder to create a future where producing affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. DTE.
How do you change the way the world moves? Change course. Active is engineering the brain and the nervous system to bring the future of mobility to life with advanced computing platforms and smart vehicle architecture, taking you from point A to point B and every point in between. We are Active, and we're moving mobility forward.
I got into energy because I really love playing around with cutting-edge technology.
I got into energy because ever since I was a kid, I've been a social butterfly.
I got into energy because I didn't want to spend all day in an office.
I got into energy because I have always been a problem solver.
I got into energy because I wanted to work in a skilled trade.
I got into energy because I know that it's stable local work.
There are lots of reasons to get into energy, and chances are we have a career that's right for you. Get inspired at consumersenergy.com/careers.
Still time to kill as we let these teams kind of get their machines in order.
Yep, got to swap the battery. Still have some repairs maybe to be done. Was it 4237? We saw their intake, their roller not working.
Kaylee had another special guest earlier. Actually, she has one right now. Let's go down to her in the pits.
We're here with Bill. He's one of the head mentors of Team 2054. Bill, I understand there's a student that's actually a transfer. She's a transfer student from Ukraine. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, Jane Kachenko, we call her Jane because I always mess up her name, is a foreign exchange student from the Ukraine. Her family lives, actually her father is a firefighter at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, which is still functioning. So they're in the Ukraine right now. And First is kind of a family, right? We've adopted her, we've grown to love her. She's part of our team and she's learned to weld, very good welder. She wants to be an engineer someday. And so we got her into the CAD room doing a little bit of CAD design, and we had to switch the tutorials over to Russian because she speaks Russian. And in support of her team, or in support of her country and their independence, we've actually changed our team colors. Our robot has always been white, blue, and orange. We threw away the orange and we did the yellow for the Ukrainian flag. We just finished competing. If you look at the robot, it's the Ukrainian flag. Our button is the same colors, and we sport "Glory to Ukraine" in Russian.
That's what that says?
That's what that says. Jane made that button for us to show that. So it's kind of a unique story. Hopkins is a small town, small team with 14 students, and 2 of which are foreign exchange students. One from Thailand and one from Ukraine.
Wow. Tell me her kind of reaction to this support. This obviously means a lot to her.
It means a lot to her. She got a little teary-eyed and then said thank you. Thank you for all the support. It was a surprise.
You guys surprised her
We
with
surprised her.
this.
When the war broke out, she was gone for about 2 weeks. She was having a little bit of trouble with that. And so the students all decided we're going to do something. You know, we got to support our teammate, our adopted sister, if you will. And they decided to paint the colors, change the colors, do the buttons. They designed it. And we don't have it yet, but we've got a Ukrainian flag that we're going to fly in our pit from the rest of the season on to support her.
That's awesome. All right, thanks so much for your time, Bill, and good luck today.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, good story. And let's turn around quick. Kaylee with a live guest as we take it right back downstairs.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with Morgan. She's a volunteer coordinator. Morgan, tell me how much work went into putting this event on.
There is so much work that goes on to it. We start planning in December. We get all of our information early on. We start reaching out to key volunteers, and then this past week, I actually started pulling 16 to 17-hour days starting last Saturday. So it's been incredibly busy for me with all the work that's gone into it.
When's the last time you got a full night of sleep?
I'm honestly not sure.
What's your favorite part of this event?
I really love the spirit that just goes on with all of these different students here. I love seeing their cheers. I love all of the dancing that's going on. I love their support for the other teams. That is probably my favorite, just that they're cheering on their alliance partners and they're acknowledging the people they're competing against, and that is just amazing sportsmanship.
How good does it feel to be back after 2 years?
It's phenomenal. I've missed this adrenaline. I've missed everything that's gone into it. It's so much work, but the reward, seeing all these students here makes me so incredibly happy and makes everything I do just worth it.
I feel like it's hard to be in here and not be happy.
It really is. It's hard not to. You just can't. Even if you lose, like the team that I coach, we did not make it to the finals, but we still had fun and we still did great, and we're ready for our next competition, and I'm sure all these other teams are as well.
All right, thanks, Morgan. We'll send it back up to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Kaylee and Morgan and everyone else. As we prep, and we're just about ready to go.
Yep, timeout just finished. We heard the field buzzer. And most of the teams are on the field, but interestingly enough, the 2 that have been having problems, 2054 and 4237, are a little late in arriving. Hopefully that's not a bad sign for them.
Well, barring anything really off the rails or shocking, we're going to have a championship here.
Yep, we should.
Barring a tie.
Yep, absolutely. And we've been talking about the consistency of the #1 seeded Alliance. Well, last match broke that consistency. So they went from scoring over 70 points every round to 54 in the last match.
And what do you attribute that to?
I think that was almost entirely 42-37 playing just crazy defense, shutting down Strikeforce. Like, Strikeforce also missed their climb at the end. That's the other thing that went wrong for them. So they're going to have to try to go maybe even a little earlier for that climb, make sure it's lined up. And it'll be interesting to see from our Blue Alliance, are they going to keep 42-37 on defense because they were so effective at it? Or if they fix their intake at their roller, are they going to switch back to offense? They are lining the robot up to make a shot. So 42-37 at least setting up for the autonomous shot. And again, we're going to watch them in auto mode to see if they pick up that extra ball. They're going to drive back to the blue ball just behind the robot, and we're going to see if they're able to grab that ball. And that is probably going to give us a hint as to how the rest of the match is going to play out.
So the field is clear and everyone's pretty well set to start this match.
Looks like everybody is connected, and we're just waiting for the gates to get closed.
And there's a lot of things that have to kind of happen in sequence in order for a match like this to start.
Yeah, we get all the robots connected. We make sure all the team's controls are working. We make sure that all of the game pieces are in the right spot on the field. Make sure all the gates are closed up. You got to make sure all your refs are in the right spot. You got to make sure MC is ready to announce the start. And I think we finally reached that point, and we're ready to go. All right, watching 42-37 here. They did not even lower the roller down.
Interesting.
Came down a little bit later. I would look for them to go to defense here.
Blue Alliance all in with some upper hub shots with their cargo as the autonomous mode ends. Just a small lead for the Blue Alliance.
Yeah, and that's good, right? With a robot that was not able to pick up an extra piece of cargo to shoot it. Red with some uncharacteristic misses, and Blue is extending their lead.
So the Red Alliance got a little work to do here with this. Yeah, balls are in the rack, but not going up into that upper hub.
Yeah, but at this point, we do have to watch where the balls are on the field. So Blue is putting a lot of balls that are going onto the red side.
And there's back-to-back makes.
Yeah, so Red right now has that advantage for where the balls are.
Strike Force had one go in and go out.
But the score is low, and it's because 42-37 is there every time. Every time Strike Force or Allendale is coming up to shoot, they're there and they're hitting them.
And Trisonics makes two cargo drops into the upper hub.
A really clever move there by 4003. They set a pick to keep Strike Force free to make their shots.
Blue getting all kinds of cargo up there to that upper hub, but Red Alliance answering. This is very, very close as we come on the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, that was dangerously close. I think that was a penalty. I think they hit when they were in the protected zone, so that's going to be a penalty on Blue.
Boy, look at that movement by Team Lancebot all over the place.
Yep, just there, that bump caused two misses, right?
Yeah.
And now they've got to go get those balls again. It's keeping it very close. Red is slowly inching ahead. 34-23, so that's 11-point advantage now.
Green Engineers is all business on defense for the Red Alliance. See if anybody's going to hang anytime soon.
Another good hit, 42-37, pushing Strike Force forward, causing them to miss one of two. And now it hangs.
Strike Force in the hanger zone. Blue Alliance trying to get the hanger zone points.
Yep, Tech Vikes is... Oh, they're going to latch? They are latched. Tech Vikes has the high hang, the traversal bar for 15 points. Strike Force trying to answer that now. They've only got 5 seconds.
The hanger zone points might be what they need to get them on the top. Oh boy.
Did not release.
That's Green Engineers didn't make it.
So Green Engineers are on the ground.
Right.
And Strike Force is holding onto both the traversal bar and the high bar. You get credit for the lower one.
Oh.
That's 10 points instead of 15.
Not good.
Meanwhile, Blue, I think, executed their hang perfectly.
Oh boy.
It could be enough to close the gap.
Well, it's what happened last time.
It is.
Blue Alliance made it happen with the points in the hanger zone.
Yep, 42-37 here. You see them bump that ball. Their roller is not down. They use a roller to suck the balls in. It kind of flops down later. That was the key to show us that they were going to play defense, and I'm not sure that was a bad decision based on how well they played defense in the previous match.
And here's Team Lancebot just killing it.
And here it is, right? They chose defense either because they couldn't fix the robot or they just wanted to play defense. And that hit spun them out just as they were pulling the trigger. Those both missed. And then they turned right around and hit the other red robot, slamming them into the wall, making them fight to get in position to score. And that was smart defense. They never released to give free shots away. And then this was, we needed to see 2054 coming back, getting the consistent hang, getting up to the traverse bar, but they had a deficit to make up. So they needed to win that hang, and they needed to win that hang section by a lot of points.
Well, the crowd explodes because they have been notified that it is a Red Alliance win. We're going to bring the graphic in just a moment and explain how the points shook out. Pretty even, but blue penalties end up being very costly.
Yeah, so we saw, again, Cargo. We knew red was going to win in Cargo because blue took one of their offensive robots and put them on defense. They came back in the hangar section, but we didn't see it, but one of the blue robots came down and touched the floor before 5 seconds after the match. They lost 6 points there. That alone didn't turn out the score, but the 8 penalty points combined with that missed hang together gave the win to the number 1 alliance.
All right, let's talk to some winners and reconnect with Kaylee.
Yeah, hey, we got the winners here. So tell me what was so important and vital in winning that?
That game was won by teamwork and like well thought out plans. We talked to each other every step of the way, and it really paid off.
Okay, well, I gotta know, how are you feeling right now?
So excited.
I saw you kind of jumping up and down. You guys all kind of celebrating.
Yeah.
How much does that mean to you? How much does this win mean to you?
It means everything to us because frankly this year's been a little rough. So being able to get the blue banner here was our number 1 goal for this year.
What was your reaction when you saw that Red Alliance up on the board?
Don't drop the robot. I was carrying it off the field when that went off, so.
Yeah, super excited. All right, well, congratulations, guys. We're going to send it back to you.
All right, don't drop the robot. Always good advice.
It is good advice.
The kid's a fast learner. Well, what did we learn today here, Dan?
Number 1 seed, best 2 offensive robots probably at the event. Was enough to take it, but you got to give a lot of credit to that number 3 alliance. They got blown out in the first match of finals, 89-41. They came back, they made the match their style. They switched up who their defensive robot was, and they took our number 1 seed, who had never scored less than 70 points, 72 points in fact, and the last 2 matches of finals, they scored 54 and 56. So the change in strategy was good, but just not quite good enough.
We'll take a time out here at St. Joseph High School and come back with more. Some final thoughts on our first in Michigan district event. More in a moment from St. Joseph High School.
How do you change the way the world moves? Change course. Aptiv is engineering the brain and the nervous system to bring the future of mobility to life with advanced computing platforms and smart vehicle architecture, taking you from point A to point B and every point in between. We are Aptiv, and we're moving mobility forward.
At Consumers Energy, we believe change is imagining. Change is big, small, clean. Him, them, us, you. Together, we can bring clean energy to Michigan and protect the environment for generations to come. Learn about your clean energy choices and how you can become a force of change. consumersenergy.com/change.
DTE believes leaders are defined by doing what's right, not what's easy. So we're tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years and using cleaner natural gas. Working even harder to create a future where producing affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. DTE.
Things starting to cool off a little bit here, but we've crowned our champion. Dan Kimura, what are your thoughts today?
I mean, mostly we're just happy to be back at robotics events after last year. We saw some good play today. We saw actually a really interesting mix of low goal versus high goal. We got to see offense versus defense. And I think this sets the season up well. I think we're going to have some interesting tournaments down the line, and the state championship should be really good.
Kaylee had all the fun. She was down there with everybody, mixing it up and talking to everybody. Kaylee, how about some of your thoughts on today?
Really good, really exciting. Common thing I've heard was just happy to be back. They're actually bringing out the trophies right now. I got a front row seat. Hold on, you're going to see it in a second. Yeah, check out that, huh? So those are going to be going out soon. But yeah, good energy today. Honestly, just all positivity from every single team. It was great to see. And just as a reminder, too, final thoughts, don't forget to, it's spring forward tonight. So don't forget to move your clocks forward an hour. Back to you guys.
All right, little public service help there from Kaylee. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much. That will wrap it up for us here from St. Joseph's High School. Great job by our production crew here, and thanks so much to our talent, Kaylee Marintet and Dan Kimura. I'm Dan Gutowski, as we say so long from St. Joseph High School in St. Joseph, Michigan. Our St. Joseph champions today, Trisonics from Allendale, Strike Force from Kalamazoo, and the Green Engineers from Berrien Springs. So long from St. Joseph's.